Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RTA Season 35 Legend Tournament. My name is Evan, and with me at the table, it's Topa V. What's going on, Topa?
What's up, Evan? I'm happy to be here. We had quite a turbulent ending to the RTA season here, but nonetheless, we had the top 4 players here duking it out, and only one can claim that Legend title here tonight.
Yes, well said. If this happens to be your first Legend Tournament in the chat, what we do is we take the top 4 players from the ranked RTA season that just ended half an hour ago. We put them in a bracket and we make them fight in gladiatorial combat to find out who will be our season's legend. And it's going to be a pretty fiery one, right, Topa?
Oh yeah, for sure. We got some returning players. We have our current SWC 2025 champion in there as well, and Pooh, as well as Sphinx, a couple of returning players, as well as we have some new names here tonight. So that's going to be exciting to see what they bring to the table here.
Yeah, it should be great. And those new names are going to have a lot to compete against because, like you said, Pooh, this year's SWC champion, Sphinx, is also a legend from, I think, 2 seasons ago. So those new names are really going to have to put up a good show because I don't know. Those are hard names to fight up against, Topa.
Oh yeah, for sure. Pooh is probably the number one player, if you're scared of someone, Pooh is probably
He's
that
the
one
one.
person that, yeah, you probably don't want to be playing against him, but someone's gonna have to fight against him in round 1, and we'll see how they fare. As well as, you gotta you have to be able to beat anyone and everyone in order to take that rank 1 spot.
100%. So, folks, I want to thank everybody for being here and watching the tournament with us tonight. It should be a fun one. Here's the overview. Basically, the season ends half an hour ago, and now we find ourselves poised, ready to fight in the Legend Tournament, where we take the top 4 players and we put them in a bracket and make them fight in SWC mode. So that means pre-bans are enabled. The semifinals and the finals are both best of 5. It'll be a pretty fast show. We have 3 total matches, 2 semifinals and a finals, and of course, the winner gets their name in the Hall of Fame, as well as that very unique statue that only the legends get, Toba.
Yeah, how sick is that? Getting that statue and, yeah, as you mentioned, the name in the Hall of Fame. That's going to be there forever. There's players in the Hall of Fame that have been there for 8 years, 9 years even, in the Hall of Fame. That's a long time, and they're going to be there until the end of time. And, as you mentioned, the RTA season did just end. Other participants will walk away here with all 5 of those very nice hacker skins as well. So I do hope that everyone in chat got the rank that they were going for. Maybe, you got your hands on that darknet hacker as well.
Yes, or maybe you close the season with a new rank. If you're in chat and you happen to get a new rank this season, please let us know. And if that's you, congratulations. That's phenomenal. I hope the season went well for you. We'll be keeping an eye peeled for that. Topa, how did the season treat you, my man?
Yeah, the season was pretty good for me. I actually enjoyed the season quite a bit, despite not having Benton, who is a very meta monster that we'll probably be seeing here tonight as well. But even then, I think I was able to just squeak into G3 this season, so that was pretty nice. How about you, Evan?
It was great, dude. I took it pretty seriously just in the last week and a half or so like that, and I had a really fun stream with Mr. Sloth today where we climbed quite a bit. All right, everybody, let's introduce our players. Coming in at number 4, we've got Famicom. And what can you tell me about his most picked, most banned there, Topa?
Yeah, Famicom he was utilized the Joe gun a lot before obviously the balance patch came and kind of nuked Joe gun out of existence. We see that at the top of his most banned right there, but not in the most picked, as he probably dropped that monster from his repertoire towards the end of the season here. He also did play in SWC and had quite a decent showing there, but Famicom has been on a tear on the ladder. Utilized that CRG on a combination as well as that light Horang that, even though it got nerfed, has still been very, very strong.
Yeah, it's always funny to see the discrepancy between the most picked and their most banned. And just for reference in the chat, most picked and most banned referred to their draft, their side of the draft in both accounts. So that means most people banned that Vendhan that I see in that most banned category there for Keong there, Topa.
Absolutely, and what we've seen the most picked is that brutal like Gojo Laura Tianlan combination that is almost the holy trinity of RTA right now. If you are fortunate enough to have those LDs, and you're coming in number 2, we have a Sphinx with that Wind Indra in the top pick, but the Dark Demon, the second most banned monster.
Oh yeah, Sphinx, our legend from season 32. I hate fighting against that Dark Demon. I don't blame those folks that banned it to contribute towards that most banned ranking there, Topa.
Oh yeah, definitely. That monster can definitely turn the tide of the battle in, just one move. Being able to just absolutely delete a monster with that skill to revive someone, but who's been on an even bigger tear and, has been a pretty big name the past few years in here in Summoners War is Pooh, obviously our defending champion in the World Finals, and now he's looking to get another victory under his belt here tonight, Evan.
Bro is a household name now. Everybody knows Pooh after his run in SWC and his multiple appearances here at the Legend Tournament. It's something that's in his most picked and most banned, didn't appear in others, but Nyx has really popped off this season, Topa.
Yeah, Nyx definitely has. That is one of the other monsters. I think Nyx and Venton are probably the, if I had to like put my finger on the unit to nerf potentially the next bounce patch, those might be the top 2 monsters on that list right now. And Nyx has been very, very strong. It is super versatile, can first pick that monster, you can go fast with it. It does have that buff strip into a reset on turn 1, which is extremely strong, or it has that turn 2 potential with the passive, getting the attack bar, denying those negative effects on your team.
Yeah, it's so fun, so flexible, and you can do cool combos with it. Folks, here's that bracket that we're going to be running through today. We got Pooh versus Famicom and Sphinx versus Keong wrapping up our semifinals. And of course, we'll fill out that finals with the folks who advance from the semis. And at the end, we'll crown our Season 35 legend. What do you think of the bracket so far here, Topa?
Yeah, that's right. There will be only one legend, and as we see, the 1 against the 4, Pooh against Famicom. That is a big, tough match for our newcomer Famicom here in this tournament. But neither is obviously Tian also there, another newcomer. Going to be a tough match for him as well. So it's kind of nice to see a little bit maybe that we have a veteran against a newcomer on both sides of the bracket here.
It's the proving grounds, as we like to call it. But I want to see what Chad has to say. Chat, who are you rooting for? We got Chad open here on the side. Like we mentioned, it was a bit of a turbulent ending towards there. Chat's aware, but ultimately, we'll see how they throw down in the bracket, because Pooh and Sphinx are really difficult players to fight against. So we'll see if Famicom and Keong have what it takes here, Topa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's going to be super exciting to see. They might bring some new stuff to the table, or maybe they're just going to stick to what they know and what they love to do. Because Pooh and Sphinx, they actually play quite similarly to each other. They really like that Wind Indra, Sheer, the Fire Megumi, those drafts, and then complementing that with a couple LDs like a Patter or Nyx in Pooh's case. So maybe they're a little bit predictable.
Yeah, now there's a monster I'd like to run in my comp if I had him, is the Wind Indra. Here we go, folks. Semifinals, match 1, set 1 at the RTA Season 35 Legend Tournament. We got Pooh versus Famicom. We're in the pre-ban right now, Topa.
We are in the pre-ban, and we are taking our time in the pre-ban as well. There, 25 seconds to find that Nyx or the Dark Monkey, that pre-ban. And those are obviously very, very strong monsters. Dark Monkey, another monster that we haven't touched on here today, but is an extremely powerful monster. Having that skill 3, very consistent AoE stun with that cleanse block, so you can't even really counter units like Juno, and also setting up that defense break. Also has defense break on the skill 2, so it can do a lot of damage.
Dude, 100%. And also, coincidentally, he works really well with the Nyx that was equally pre-banned. Venhan in the first pick slot is not surprising to us tonight.
No, it absolutely is not. It's a bit surprising to me that I'm seeing it come from Pooh, to be honest, though. I feel like this is a bit more just taken away from Famicom. I know Famicom has been a crudge pick for him quite a bit, but Pooh not utilizing that, as we didn't see it in his most picked nor most banned monsters.
And now we've got a race right here. We got both players racing for that first turn with high base speed monsters. We got the AoE strip in the Water Renosuke from Pooh. We've got the Shiho with that super high base speed for Famicom. And now he's debating picking the anti-Vio Fire Robo.
Well, it's not so much anti-Bio, it's kind of anti-Water Pig and anti-Indras here, because both of those, Water Pig, if you use that skill 3, you gain an additional turn 100% of the time. So that means Robo will be gaining attack power off of that, and same with the Venton. If you go into that Thunderous state, you get the extra turn, and Robo does getting that bar as well as lower cooldowns on that. So I quite like this counter pick. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough if it just gets banned out here, as Famicom goes for that Annabelle that just signifies that he's going to be really assuming this turn 2 position here.
Love that take, dude. That's a really good point. Getting the guaranteed activations of the passive off these units. The way Pooh's picking is making me think that maybe he wants to get rid of it just because he continued to pick into that passive at the end. Seimei is going to wrap up Famicom's draft here. Let's see what these players choose for their bans.
Yeah, Seimei is quite a strong pick here if you are tanky enough to withstand this barrage, because I do believe that Fire Robo will be getting banned out, and I think Pooh will likely outspeed Famicom unless that monkey is extremely fast.
Let's see. We got 2 speed leads for Pooh. We got just one over for Famicom. He ends up banning out the Seimei, which is honestly a pretty safe choice because Seimei can really just destroy everything you're trying to do if you're not confident in your damage.
Yeah, it definitely is, but leaving that Robo up there, that Robo is definitely one to watch out for here, as the Ashir was banned out, and neither or none of the 3 units that gained those extra turns, and maybe the Pontos and Vine. Now with the Ashir banned out, the Monkey actually does get the turn 1 here as well, and gets a stun on a Nemesis Pontos there.
So fast too, but like you pointed out too, though it can whiff. That Robos can whiff. It's rare, but it could happen. Let's see how much he does here.
Well, the Robo also gains activation rate on that passive when it activates, so it's actually 100% activation, which makes it very difficult for it to miss with a triple hit there as well. So he lands nearly everything. Both the Indras get a lot of their attack bar reduced there, as well as those immunities are gone. So we see the Robo actually even laps both Indras right now, and the CR is obviously going to cut in here. Designing a bomb target, goes for the Wind Indra instead of the Fire one there.
This is looking pretty good for Famicom so far. He's had a really strong start here, Topa.
He definitely has. I think the Fire Robo probably trying to stun that Fire Indra here now. Or does he just try and maybe confirm the kill on the Pontos? Doesn't get the stun there.
And here comes the Vendhand turn. This is the turn that just decides the game. Let's see if he can actually get anything super meaningful. Only a few silences go out there.
No attack bar pushback on that monkey, meaning that it will outspeed the Pontos. Does get the silence, but the monkey still with the skill 1 actually managed to stun that Pontos and Pontos out of the battlefield without really contributing much at all.
And that heal from Annabelle felt like the last nail in the coffin, Topa. This is looking pretty good for Famicom.
Yeah, this is really well drafted by Famicom. I really didn't like Pooh's last 2 picks there. He was kind of, with those last 2 picks, he almost had to ban this Robo. But given that Famicom had that last pick there, you can never bank on the fact that you can let the last pick through. As you know, we saw Famicom found a very nice last pick in that Seimei there that Pooh had to ban out. And we'll see Famicom take game 1 there.
It was a nice way to force a ban. But it's like we were talking about, dude. Like, the Fire Robo was in play. It was in the pick ban phase. And it felt like Pooh just picked into it after that.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, picking another Indra, another monster that just feeds into that, especially the Wind Indra at that too. You know, you're picking Wind into Fire. It already counters you. He also has the elemental advantage over you. And then picking up that Pontos. I'm not sure how I feel about the Pontos pick there. It was like pseudo tanky Nemesis Will Pontos, so I don't think the Robo would have been activated that had the Robo like cut in, and the Pontos would not been able to gain enough Nemesis off of that, nor like did it really then do anything against the monkey either, right? Because like you don't have the chance to bind and proc out.
Exactly. Really good insight on that one. And the Fire Robo, like, I'm sold on the Robo. I had completely forgotten about the bonus activation rate from that. Like, dude, that's a very good counter to some of the best monsters this season.
Yeah, it really is. I actually have that monster runed up myself. You know, it can definitely be quite strong, but it also, you know, could just be banned out, and then you almost end up in this weird, you're kind of in a turn 2 position. So very well drafted by Famicom there, you know, still picking that speed with that very fast Shiho that now sees the pre-ban as we get into game 2 here.
Folks in chat already calling it the trauma ban. Yeah, the Shiho and the Ashir getting pre-banned out, so 2 extremely high base speed monsters. Hopefully just denying that first turn options for these players.
Yeah, both players really want to take that turn 1. We see, you know, them really banning out those fastest monster or presumably fastest monsters on each other's side there, and also really just leveraging these base high or speed lead monsters here, as well as the high base speed monsters now on Famicom side in that Yan Hong.
And of course, the Robos back again. Oh, and here comes Pooh's Tian Lang. That's a really cool pickup against this because there's already so much bar being gained by Famicom.
Oh yeah, that is a phenomenal pick. You know, I too am a Yan Hong owner, so I used to play a lot of this style as well. And every time you see a Tianlang, it's like, oh my goodness, like really? He has a Tianlang too? You know, like Tianlang is such a huge counter against everything that Famicom is trying to do right now. And we see Pooh pick up the Riley as well, you know, going for that little bit of turn 2 sustain. We've seen Pooh actually using the Riley a lot on the ladder, but I'm not really sure how well it does into the double bomb here.
Yeah, We'll see, especially because now I'd imagine the Dark Monkey King's cleanse block is going to get in the way of that. So now this is a tough spot for Pooh. What do you think he's aiming to ban, given that he's picking a Parjanya in that last pick slot?
Picking the Parjanya, I don't really know what you do if you're Pooh here, right? Because you're probably getting out, you're either getting outsped or you're getting cut by the Robo. So you really can't go for that turn one. So you probably have to ban out the turn two. But then what's the biggest turn here? Is it the Monkey? It might be the Monkey with that defense break as well as probably the most consistent stun. I think with the Monkey is gone, maybe your Parjanya can get a turn because I think Famicom kind of has to ban this Tianlang here.
Yeah, he's stuck between a monkey and a hard place. You know, there's so many things. That's actually what I was going to say I wanted to ban was the Ciara, purely because the Parjanya, being a defense-based monster, really falters to bombs. So having that detonation unlock is kind of scary. But I think the Dark Monkey King's going to be tough, Topa.
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, the Parjanya is that defense-based monster, but there are two bombers. The Sierra is not the only bomber on Famicom's side, and as well as we have a very consistent defense breaker in that Dark Monkey there as well. So maybe not the best pick there, but we see here. It's really interesting to see that the Tianlang was not banned out here because now that Robo is actually not gaining enough attack power to cut in here, and Pooh does get a very solid turn one here. Now the Parjanya is looking to just control the entire team, and I think Pooh might just run away with this right now.
If he can land all these, if he can land all these provokes, and just like that, Pooh has established the same level of control that Famicom got in that first round.
Yeah, definitely has. I really just disagree with the ban on Famicom's side here, not banning out that Tianlang. I think Pooh was, between a hard place and a monkey, as you mentioned. I think he really had a difficult ban there, but then all Famicom had to do was really ban out this Tianlang. Either he outspeeds with the speed-led Yan Hong, or he cuts him with this Robo. Now with the Tianlang, the Robo doesn't gain enough attack bar, and we saw here once again Famicom is in this weird turn 2 position where he's actually not really going to take a single turn here.
It's a tale of two games where people are picking into the counters. Oh, wait a minute. But now the monkey's getting a turn. Is this enough to capitalize on it? I think he has to take the heal here unless he wants to try and fish for enough damage on something.
Yeah, man, it's just really difficult. Once again, Tianlang's counters is so hard. You don't get that full attack bar in other monsters. Oh my goodness, and Parjanya getting the violent proc out. Famicom had that glimpse of hope with the monkey violent procking out, getting the full team control. Parjanya responds right back, and the provokes are on Famicom's side once again.
Yeah, Famicom is getting good stuns. That Parjanya proc, though, that's what I like to call an expeditious proc. We already know that this game is being won by Pooh. It's just moving the game along. It's moving us along to game 3. We got 2 points on the board. Again, this is not best of 3, this is best of 5. So these players have a little time to figure each other out, Toto.
Yeah, they definitely do. Neither player is still at match point here. We are at a best of 5, so both players can still make some adjustments. Maybe there are some nerves on Famicom's side there, because that ban was just quite weird, to be completely honest, in that banning out. You have the Robo to counter it, which worked out so well in that first game, right? You didn't ban out that Venton then. So I don't know why you're really banning it out this time here.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, dude, you made some very good points about the TL, that Tian Lang. It's like there are just so many things that he's countering in play. I mean, everything seemed to game bar on Famicom's side. So we'll see how they adjust in this next one. I'm very interested how they're going to change it up this time.
Yeah, interesting to see. We saw Pooh also draft out Riley, that I also wasn't the biggest fan of. I mean, in the end, the Riley didn't really contribute much to the team at all. It was literally just the fact that Pooh took that turn when the Parjanya almost solo controlled the entire match. From there on out, paired with the Tianlang defense breaks, that was enough damage to take off Famicom's team. But this time, both players will have their fast monsters, although Famicom does have that fast Yanhong as well.
All right, chat. As we get into this third game, I want to hear who you're rooting for, Pooh or Famicom. Let us know. I see Pete's already voting for Pooh. We'll see what the rest of the chat seems to say. Pre-bans go out. The Dark Monkey King's down there, and Vendhan is down there too. I think that's good because now Famicom won't be tempted to ban it.
Yeah, it won't be tempted to ban it if he isn't in the draft. And now Pooh actually going back to this more normal style from him. Now that he doesn't have that Venton available, knows that Famicom doesn't have the Venton available either. So, he obviously going back to this style that he knows. And Famicom also going back to the style that did him very well in that game 1.
Thank you, Petra. Yeah, see, Famicom seems to be really comfortable playing this Shiho Ciara. That's where he went to right away in the first one. We're seeing both these players return to their roots, as it were. to the very first round that we saw here.
Yeah, that they are. We also do know that Shiho with a 24 lead does outspeed the 28 lead Water Inosuke. So that's something to keep in mind. So if that Escher is banned out currently, and Famicom does, okay, this is just I mean, I don't hate this. It's a pretty early Leo. It does counter
Oh,
quite
and
well obviously the Wind Injure here. The Wind Injure cannot remove any buffs if the Leo is on the field. But there's two more picks on Pooh's side. So I would have liked to see this Leo as a last pick if you're going to be picking it if you're Famicom.
yeah, it's like, Famicom really backed off with that. It's so funny seeing like the idea of body language in a pick ban, it's like you can really see a mindset swap from Famicom there with that Leo Bayek. But Pooh is right there, ready to answer with the anti-Leo Rakan.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that Famicom, did pivot in this Leo. The first game went so well for him, and he obviously didn't have that monkey available in the first game either. That wasn't the pre-ban. So now that Pooh doesn't have his Vendon available either, I don't know why you're not really just doing the same draft this game. When I really would, the Fire Robo seems pretty good here. Maybe, he's super afraid of that TN line coming out, but now with the Rakan and the Riley, oh, the Leo is still getting banned out. So this is unlikely to be a Leo counter Rakan here. And now that Riley does feel like it has a lot of value in this match.
Who duped us all? I thought it was a Leo counter for sure. I'm wondering if Famicom thought that the Shiho was going to get banned otherwise, because we know that it took that first turn. In fact, this time is no different. Super fast Shiho taking turn one, coming in to try to intercept that Inosuke, and gets it right at the end of the skill.
Yeah, but gets it, but there's no follow-up. We see that there's a Wind Injure moves right after, and the Riley is moving right after that. The Wind Injure getting a nice down on that Shiho, being able to remove that immunity off of it. Now the Bayek it kind of has to go on this Rakana here, has to remove that immunity off of it, but then risks getting collapsed here. Ooh, no silence lands, can Seer land a bomb. It would be a tap broken bomb, but the stun is what matters here.
Exactly. You just want to deny Rakan the opportunity, and that Rakan is not going down, dude. He cannot be stunned. Here comes Pooh. He's just going to rip a straight up skill 3, already getting counterattacks. Dude, everything was coming up Rakan.
Oh, does miss the provoke on the Bayek, which is quite huge as the Bayek does have skill 3 available that would get the heal, but then the Wind Injure just getting a random skill 1 despair stun on that Bayek right there, putting it down. And Pooh, why is he not using the, well, questionable use of not using the skill 2 there, knowing that it's only going to be one turn, so want to save it for after in order to be able to cycle back into that skill 3 faster here.
Man, right at the beginning of the game, you called it. The strip came out, the stun came out, but there was no follow-up. Famicom's going to have to put in some serious work here to get control back. Can Shiho's skill 2 be the way that he does it? Good stuns.
Very good stuns. They're landing 3 stuns when there are 2 wind monsters, and one of them being a Riley. This show's definitely going to be built on high accuracy, and that same is actually been keeping up Famicom's team here with that passive. Now Bayek not getting a defense break, but still Famicom's whole team is near full health.
I didn't even see any reses come out from that one.
Yeah, that Bayek just not having it. This Rakan is just completely immune to debuffs, it almost seems like, although it is sitting with a stun on top of its head right now, so that might not be the case. But that Wind Ninja is doing so much damage, you almost just one-shot that Water Monkey.
Taking down the Rakan is actually a bigger deal than it seems, considering that the Wind Indra's got a bomb on him.
Definitely. Famicom is definitely in control here. He does get a skill 3 off from Shiho here as well. Just piling everything in that Wind, knowing that that is the only source of damage left here. Riley does not have skill 3 available for the cleanse, but does get the immunity, so at least the Wind Ninja is not getting stunned up here.
Yeah, and look at the heals from Seimei. The inevitability of this is starting to sink in, I think, for Pooh.
It definitely is. I really favored Pooh's draft coming into this, but I guess that Rakan just didn't really do enough. And the Seimei, once again, was such a huge counter to whatever Pooh was trying to do. If the Tian line was a huge counter, Famicom's team last time, Seimei is just such as big of a counter to Pooh's team here. And Famicom is now sitting at game point here.
Very, very surprising turn of events. I'm totally with you, dude. I thought that Pooh was going to take it just based on the pick ban phase there. I don't know where. I don't know. Maybe we could reverse engineer exactly what went wrong that time. Was it the Shiho skill 2 that stunned 3 units? Was it Rakan getting stunned at the wrong time? What do you think, Topa?
I think the biggest thing was that there was no no defense break set up. He did have the defense break from the Water Inosuke, but he didn't get that set up with the Shiho stunning it turn 1. So he kind of used all of his damage with that Wind Intra skill 2 as well as the Rakan collapse skill 3 right there without the defense break. So nothing went down and a whole lot of debuffs were on Famicom's side, which obviously Seimei loves to see there. And so when those units take those turns, they're going to be getting huge heals from that passive, and that just kept Famicom's team alive. And he was able to weather that turn 1 storm. And all of those debuffs are only going to be that one turn as well to that Seimei. The Seimei is such a massive counter pick right there. Ultimately, Famicom was just tanky enough to survive the initial burst, and then Seimei healed his team back up.
Who's got to pull it together, because this is suddenly match point for Famicom at his first Legend tournament. That new blood is making a good show for us, I'll say that.
Definitely making a good show. Great show, I might say, going up against Pooh once again. We've been glazing Pooh here a little bit. He is the SWC 2025 champion and the previous winner in the Legend tournament. So no slouch here at all. And now we see Famicom pivoting his pre-ban a little bit, going with that Water Inosuke instead of the Eshira that we saw in game 2.
Oh, getting a really good speed lead out the Water Inosuke pre-ban. It's funny that that's down there in the pre-ban, though. I did not expect him to value it that much, especially since we know how he performs. Famicom picking up Venhan for the first time, I think, actually.
Yeah, that is the first time Famicom is picking that Ventan up, who has been stealing it all night long. Interesting to see. It's a bit weird, I guess, for Famicom. He's banning out that speed lead, and we know he likes to play Sierra, but he's not first picking Sierra now. And obviously with that one less speed lead available, Pooh might be inclined to steal that monster. But Pooh doesn't really play Sierra, from what we see, and he does prefer that Fire Megumi, and that is his counter to obviously all the AoEs that this Ventan does here.
Yeah, hoping to cut in, get a clutch little stun in there, or set up a defense break for some damage. Nice, dude. I love this. What Famicom's bringing is really intimidating. He's got some protection and a speed lead with Chandra. He's got the heal and the boost with Yanhong. So he can also strip with it. He's got a very tight 3 monster comp here.
I'm not sure how I feel about this Chandra over like the Sierra. Say he's been picking Sierra a lot. I almost would prefer the Sierra here, I think, because right now you're picking up a Chandra, but the Fire Megumi counters it so well. You have that AoE skill 3 from Chandra. It's going to be giving a lot of attack power to Megumi, and any defense that you're putting out, Megumi can just hit that monster one time and defend is gone. So I think a Sierra would have maybe done better here. But either way, the Chandra has been picked up, and now Pooh all just pivoting back in this turn 2 play that actually turned out to be turn 1 in the game 2, where that Parjan did take that first turn almost and just provoked the entire team. But Famicom is now the one with Tianlang.
Whoa, he's been holding back all these monsters. And Pooh has a Liesel runed up for this? Oh my god, please.
Yeah, it does looks like he's taking back the Liesel here, going for the Annabelle, getting those heals as well as the slows, in addition to that defense break that Liesel will provide, but no pushback. And obviously no pushback means that Seimei is going to be getting a lot of value here. So might be looking to ban out that Seimei here.
I would reckon that he probably would want to ban the Seimei, especially after practically losing to the sustain that she brought in the last game. Obviously, yeah, Annabelle, way better last pick in this situation than Liesel. If there were like 30% more fire units, I'd be down with the Liesel. But unfortunately, I'm not down with it here. There we go. Those were expected bans.
Yeah, definitely expected bans there. And once again, I do quite favor Pooh's draft here. I think he definitely has the resiliency to just get this Parjani to go off. And there really isn't a counter to this Parjani once again from Famicom's side. Now he doesn't even have the Sierra bomb, right? Once again, if that Chandra was a Sierra, I would maybe favor Famicom's draft here. But with that Chandra there, it's obviously also vulnerable to this Parjani. There are no wind monsters, no cleansers, only somewhat counter the Parjana is this Tianlang with the attack bar boost. But I don't know. Whoa. I think Parjan just takes this game.
Lots of resistances from the Windra, but then Han procking out to rip a skill 2. Actually, maybe just do skill 1 here if you want. But I play this game pretty safe. I'm too safe sometimes.
He's really just going for that damage. We actually do know Pooh famously runs 100% resistance on his wind injury right there and is paying dividends. A lot of these Wentons actually build on quite low accuracy. As you do so many hits, you're probably going to be landing anyways. We actually saw here that there was no landing coming out of that Wenton.
Yeah,
Indra is able to get skills off and stay in this match Riley with the sustain and the proc, and I feel like this game is already over.
Oh, and look at that. Who is healthy again? He looks like the game just started. Those resistances were crazy.
They definitely were. If that branding landed from the Benton, I do believe that the Wind Indra would have died here, but alas, it did not land at the low accuracy Benton. Does not do enough here, and now we see Pooh is in full control and Famicom's team is near dead already.
I'd have to watch it in a replay, but I was kind of surprised he didn't use Tianlang's skill 2 to try to open up the team for Vendhan there, to be honest.
Yeah, he just opted to go for that skill 1, really just trying to get that defense break. It's an interesting point, because Famicom thought that, if he gets rid of that Wind Indra, maybe Pooh doesn't have enough damage there or enough sustain, enough control, I guess, to take his team out. But I feel like the Parjana kind of does that solo, so I think he kind of had to go for that skill 2. Not only, even if you don't even need the stun from that skill 2, all you need is that buffer move, and then, presumably your low accuracy Benton can then, control the team.
Right. Yeah. You're in there, you're weighing the odds. I liked your point. It's like, if you land the defense break, you probably take out the big source of damage. But in my mind, it's like, Tianlang is there as your hopefully AoE strip option, and Tianlang has like variable performance, but assuming that he lands everything, you want to rip that skill 2 and just try to hope for it. But ultimately, that didn't happen. So we'll see how these players pull together in the 5th round here, because now we are at a game 5 in the first set. Absolutely crazy matchup between Pooh and first-timer Famicom.
Yeah, how exciting here. We're getting a game 5 right off the bat here, and these players have been pretty evenly matched. They've been both drafting quite well here, and but even then, one player just seems to have a slightly better draft each time. So we haven't really seen RNG decide any of these games. So I think even if, Famicom does take that Wind Indra out there turn 1, I think that Parjana still takes that game there. So while, those resists were impactful in making sure that the Wind Indra lives, I don't think it decided the outcome of that game.
Well said, dude. Yeah, I agree. I think if the Wind Indra wasn't there to do the damage, then Parjana could just control it. And that's what he was there for as well. So Pooh now following up with the Fire Megami and the Ishir, kind of an amalgamation of what we've seen from drafts past.
Yeah, we see a slight pivot here from Pooh. He was picking the Water Inosuke in the Fire Megami spot here, but now he finally learned his lesson here in the 3rd time around, and that Shiho outspeeds your Water Inosuke. We saw it in the game 1, we saw it in game 3, and Famicom did win those games 1 and 3. And also, obviously, this Fire Megami does a lot better into this Leo.
Yep. And now we're doing this again. So we got the Bayek, we got the Leo, and the last time we saw this, it was a Seimei last pick from Famicom. Pooh did the Rakan here. We'll see if he wants to return to it, though.
Yeah, we'll see. Does he take the Rakan, or does he just go for full-on Leo counters here?
Leo, that's kind of hot. I like that.
Yeah, the Rakan is back. A Belio instead of Riley this time. I'm not sure which one I prefer. The Belio is quite weak to Sierra, right? The bombs can make good work of that. And Belio overall does have less healing than a Riley would, but it obviously cuts in and can provide a lot more damage as well.
Yes, I like that he wakes up. I like that Abelio can cut in and he can wake up to heal everybody, surprisingly, This is a tough ban for both players to be... like, if I'm Pooh, I don't know what I value here, Topa.
Yeah, this is really tough. Seimei, Leo, probably one of those two again. And I'm really surprised to see that the Belio is actually catching the ban here. I thought that this would be a ban on this Megumi here, or the Escher, because, if your Leo gets banned out here, actually Pooh is going to be taking turn 1 here, and I think Pooh is going to full control Famicom here. Actually, well, maybe Seimei. Maybe Seimei can actually provide enough sustain here. Can he live this onslaught?
And let's see if he can outlive. This is the first time we've seen Pooh get that turn 1 with the Ishir. Here we go. We got the strips. Clutch stun on the Shiho. This is big. Now he can do some pushbacks and stuns. He gets the stun on the Bayek.
Interesting to see that he did not go for a defense break there. I think I would have liked to see the maybe go for a defense break as his Rakan did move in front anyways, and he could have gone to provoke on that Bayek. So you see the stun actually like didn't really matter as there was a provoke there anyways. If you got a defense break, I think you could have deleted the Sierra, but now Famicom's whole team is still looking very healthy.
Definitely apparent there, because in doing so, like you said, right, you're trading heals. You're allowing that team to stabilize again. So Pooh, he's got good tempo, but he ultimately just let the advantage leave with that. Let's see if he can confirm a kill on Ciara here with a defense break from the Megumi plus the Windra.
Oh, it has a very good rotation there. Seimei with that skill one, giving that little bit of attack bar, that fire Megumi. Now moves it in front of that Indra. It gets the defense break on the Sierra, and the Sierra does drop. Bayek does have a skill threat available here, so this Megumi might be gone here very soon as well.
Oh my goodness, doesn't even need the bomb. Both players down a monster. It's just a 3v3 showdown here on game 5.
Yeah, that it is. That was incredible damage coming at that Bayek. As you mentioned, didn't even need that bomb. Could have placed that bomb elsewhere, and I'm sure he's wishing that he had done that just now. But now Shiho does have skills available. And skill 3, looking to get that stun. Goes for the Azure to prevent the heals and speed buff from coming out.
This is not looking exactly guaranteed for either player just yet. That Seimei is providing a lot of value, so he's got to make sure to confirm these kills when he can. Look at that damage from the Windra Topa.
Yeah, the Windra is doing so much damage. This rune so well. So much damage. It's tanky, it's 100 resistance. It has accuracy, as well as it's landing a lot of this stuff. And now with the collapse, it's not quite enough. The Rakan does not get the kill in the Bayek. It's a little bit more healing coming out, but can he get the kill here now? The heal block.
And he's not revenging anymore. Any one of those attacks could have been a kill from Rakan, but he just was not. He was not attacking in. It feels so weird to not see an Indra attack twice. I'm so used to Vendhan. Every time he moves, I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna kill when it hits again. It just doesn't come.
And second, it doesn't come. Shiho now confirm. Nope, does not confirm the kill on this Azure just yet. And Seesaw, he probably figured that both the Azure, actually probably Pooh's whole team would have outsped his Bayek right there. So can't save the Bayek, just goes for the kill on the Azure. And now the Seimei struggling to keep up with these heals against Wind Indra, doing so much damage.
He got a cycle here. He gets he gets a stun on the unit. I did not think he was going to stun. That is typically how it goes. Nice little proc here from Seimei to refresh the skill 3 on the monkey. This is actually a big moment here.
I think you actually could ride the Bayek, because the Bayek has skill 3 available, so this will actually just delete. I think you... Ooh, do you go for the Rakan?
I don't know. I would have done skill 3 to protect the monkey, because it's just purely because it's here. It's going to stick around.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, but the Wind Indra has a strip anyways, so it probably could have just... The invincibility may have just been gone right away.
True.
So... I think I personally do prefer that revive right there, but he unfortunately does not get the defense break on this 100 resistance Indra, which is why I was thinking, like, do you go for the Indra or do you actually go for the Rakan? But I don't think it matters in the end, as Monkey gets the skill 3 off, and that's going to delete this Indra, and there's no way, well, okay, never say never, but I mean, I don't think there's a way that Rakan wins this here.
I don't think so either, dude. He's got it, like, we'd have to see a proc, and there's no such thing coming out of that. And just like that, Famicom takes down Pooh, the recent SWC 2025 champion. Famicom, in his first appearance at Legend Tournament, takes him down. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, that is an incredible performance from Famicom. That Seimei, that was just a Seimei masterclass right there. So much value from that Seimei in all those games. And we saw it in, game 1. Pooh did ban it in game 1. Did respect that pick. The Fire Robo Tech then got him. And then, in games 3 and 5, just Seimei getting so much value. Just, I was saying the Wind Indra did so much damage, but the Seimei heals just completely negated everything that the Wind Indra was able to do.
I see folks in chat commenting on a moment towards the end there, Topa. Maybe you can weigh in as well. So Pooh did not use skill 2 from Chakra, the Wind Indra, when he could have, when Shiho was open. So now, it's debatable whether or not it would have killed. And if it didn't kill, the thing is Seimei could have gotten major heals for the monkey off of that. But I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you remember that moment towards the end?
Yeah, I actually do. Yeah, it's close.
It's real close. You know what? we can take a look at that in the highlights later. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be right back for the second round of the semifinals. Welcome back to the RTA Season 35 Legend Tournament. This time for the second match in the semifinals, where Topa and I just saw in the first match Famicom take the win over Pooh.
Yeah, and so did everyone in chat as well. That was a great set of matches right there. We see the highlights here coming through as well. We went all the way to a best of five with potential, slight misplay at the end of game five there as well. That, we were talking about during the break a bit more as well. Watch that back as well. And maybe we'll see it in the highlight here too.
Yes, so we'll be sure to point out the moment in chat. I'm sure you'll see it too. It's in the game five. It was a moment towards the end where the Wind Ninja had the skill 2 available and it could have used it against the Shiho. So in talking about this, Topa, we basically came to the conclusion it's like we see room for like an argument where you go for the first one, you get the pushback. You go for first skill, you get the pushback. And if you don't kill with skill 2, then Seimei gets a massive heal. But I think ultimately you and I both agree that at that point in the game, you rip the skill 2 just on a hope and a prayer.
Right. I mean, we saw so many skill 2s from that Wind Ninja against that Water Monkey, and that was also late in the game. So I would think that the skill 2 would kill, assuming you get that branding on the first hit, which, is very consistent in doing so. So I think ultimately you kind of have to just go for it right there and, try and get that kill. If you don't get the kill, well, I mean, obviously we saw how it went with just using that skill 1 right there, it didn't work out either way. So you kind of have to gamble that you get the kill. If it gets the big heal, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that unit is at 100% health or if it's at 20% health. Either way, the unit is just as effective.
Exactly, because at that point in the game, if it doesn't kill, you've already lost. So we'll see it coming up here shortly. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Say welcome to the stream. I want to say thank you to everybody in chat too for staying up late and watching the Legend Tournament with us. This has already been such a fun show. All right, nobody blink. This is the moment. This is the moment. We got the reanimation here. We got the Thunderer Stake and skill 1. So right there, you got to be confident and rip the skill 2 because it's kind of a last chance move.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that skill 1 did more than half of the health of that Water Monkey right there. So you assume that, skill 2 doing 2 hits, it would probably be enough, especially with a branding in there. So I think, a slight misplay maybe coming out of Pooh right there. And it ultimately costed him very dearly there as, Famicom does move to the finals as he defeats Pooh 3-2 there, which is quite incredible to see.
Insane for the first appearance at Legend Tournament. Good for Famicom, and thank you to Pooh for putting on a great show. Every time we get to see Pooh play, I'm happy. And like this was no different. A game 5 in the very first set of the Legend Tournament, I'm always going to be happy to see that. And now here we are, match 2. So looking in the present, we've got Sphinx versus Kiang. So Sphinx is a previous legend from 2 seasons ago up against another newcomer here, Topa.
Yeah, Kiang actually does have best of rank 3, so maybe not a newcomer, but I don't recognize that name. So, maybe under a different alias here in Kiang. But either way, we'll see what he brings to the table. As I'm not familiar with his account. Besides that, we saw the Light Gojo, Tianling, and Laura in his most pick there. By the way, that one of those pieces is now in the pre-ban as well as that Dark Monkey.
That Light Gojo Laura combo is just so good. So I totally understand why it's in the pre-ban. Both of those LD5s in the pre-ban are in the top 5 LDs in the game right now. So, for sure. We have a slight pause this early with nobody locked in. It could just be like a quick technical glitch, but we'll be sure to get that back as soon as humanly possible. Like we said, nothing's even been locked in, but perhaps maybe one of those pre-bans wasn't exactly what the players had in mind and something got in the way there, Topa.
Well, I would assume those pre-bans seem pretty solid to me,
They
at
seem
least.
good to me.
I don't think you can really go wrong with a Light Goat and a Dark Monkey pre-ban right there. As well as we saw Sphinx hovering over that Venton in that first pick, I really wasn't expecting Pooh and Sphinx to be putting so much priority on Venton here. But it, makes sense, Venton has been the mainstay for this season RTA, and I think he just became popular just late enough to dodge a nerf in that balance patch as he boasted a insane 55% win rate in Guardian 3. That is just almost unprecedented. So, if you got a Venton, use it while you can, is all I'm going to say.
Yes, man, his 15 minutes of fame came at the right time, dude. You're so right. Like dodging the balance patch was great. As a Venhan owner, I couldn't be happier because he spent a lot of time at the bottom of that family. Like, he was the worst for a very long time. So it's great to see some Indras getting some use because they're really cool monsters. But yeah, like you said, hovering that one first when you have so many options is really high praise.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's as you mentioned, the Indras are, I mean, they're seeing a lot of play. We saw Pooh drafting the other two Indras quite religiously there as well in the first match, but we have now resumed the game, and that Venton is in the first pick, and Kiang responding that Water Inosuke as he doesn't have the light Gojo for a speed lead option, as well as his trusted Laura.
Ooh, and what a great answer to what's being presented here too with the patter. Having cleanse and immunity in a dark unit is so valuable too. Lets you stay element neutral and have great responses to crowd control since he wakes up.
Yeah, very patter is a very solid monster. We've seen Sphinx utilize that a lot here as well. And now we see a Lamila Nyx combo that Nyx would make those provokes from Lamila be 2 turns long. And a very, very nice combo right there, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as Sphinx team is looking quite tanky. So Lamila might not really do enough damage with that skill too here.
Yeah, Nyx and provokes are so much fun. I know chat's tired of hearing about it, but I love living vicariously through my friend's Nyx. It lets me play some really cute little comps here. An aggressive Sonya at the end here, actually, Topa. That's a good pick.
It could be a good pick,
Could
but
be.
everything on Sphinx side might be Sonya proof. You know, there is a defense lead there as well from this Layla. So, I mean, Ventan, you probably don't want to target a fire unit there. Chandra is probably going to be too tanky for Sonya at the one shot. Layla could be built as a counter. So, I don't know. The Sonya's let through. I don't know how I feel about this Sonya. I guess we'll see.
Dude, if they're not Sonya proof, it's amazing. But the problem is so many things are Sonya proof. I mean, let's see. Not exactly Sonya proof, though she has enough HP to be Sonya proof. Here she comes. Gets a clutch little slow, just, you know, kind of incidental results.
And the Layla's also Nemesis there, so actually getting attack bar from that Sonya hit is able to then cut in as we saw that Annabelle would have taken the second turn. But now with all those debuffs, I mean Layla, you see the attack bar, it's very bright or dark blue right there, filled up all the way over. So that attack bar is enough, and now the Chandra is looking to get a defend in that Layla, and it's actually not going anywhere.
Low-key, crazy amount of debuffs actually landed considering Nyx is there.
Oh yeah, I mean with so many hits, right, the Venton, that's why a lot of people don't put that much action on that monster either. As you just do so many hits, you're probably gonna land a lot, even, you know, off element, on Nyx passive, everything. It doesn't really matter, all those hits, just as well as all the damage coming up from additional damage.
Yeah, it's like you're bound, the odds are in your favor at this point. Here comes Patter. He has a pretty good chance of trying to stun. Oh, he's doing this. I think you go for the kill on the Nyx while you got the branding, or at least get it low enough for Chandra to do something about it.
Yeah, these violent procs from the Patter have been quite crucial. It's getting 2 turns and 2 violent procs. Now Chandra with the 2 kills. And there,
Oh,
that is
that's a
just the
big
game
move,
over.
and that's likely going to be how Sphinx takes this game. I don't know if Kiang is just going to hang out to see if Lamila could maybe get a clutch little Vile proc to use skill 2 or something, but I think it's pretty much over.
Yeah, I think he's getting a little bit more screen time here, wanting to, you know, soak in the moment here, as well as, you know, maybe thinking about the next game as well, you know, what really went wrong here. The Sonya, it seemed okay on paper, right? But I also don't like a Sonya when you only have 1 speed leader. You saw, you know, Sphinx just see that as well and just ban out that speed lead, and then Sonya just doesn't have that enough of a speed differential there, especially when you're going up against a speed lead and the damage gets mitigated by a lot. We saw the Sonya only do, I think, 31,000 damage, which is, I mean, that's not going to kill anything, let's be real.
And I wanted to say too, chat is cracking me up right now, Topa. The fraud allegations for Nyx are rolling in. They're calling him fake. I mean, dude missed a lot of debuffs. You know, he's supposedly the guard dog. He's trying to keep those debuffs off his team, and he was just falling. He was asleep out there, dude. He let everything go through, Topa.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Nyx is a low chance, but every time it activates, you know, it does give attack bar as well, which is quite strong. So, you know, just can cause for some really infuriating matches going up against Nyx as well. You know, sometimes you're really trying to make sure to not land a debuff, or, you know, not even activate a debuff, right? So you go on like off element, but then you instantly activate it, and then Nyx just somehow denies that and gives attack bar. So it'd be definitely annoying, but then, you know, you also see instances like that where it doesn't really do a lot.
Yeah, like you said, it's a 30% lower activation rate for stuff, or application rate rather. But bro's got to do something there. Had so many chances. Pre-bans come out here, and this time we're seeing the other half of the Light Gojo Laura combo in the pre-ban along with the Water Inosuke.
Yeah, no surprise there. It really just does not want to go up against this god combo of the Light Gojo and the Laura. And Kyung banning out the Water Inosuke, taking that speed lead option away, as now he has a speed lead option of his own in this Light Gojo.
And then we got... Oh, and now we also have the Light Nina Williams there. People have really been liking this unit following the balance patch, Topa.
Yeah, they have. I'm not sure how I still feel about this monster. I almost feel like a Maximilian in a lot of cases just does better. Right? I mean, with Maxi, I guess you kind of have to land that defense break to do the damage, but then you also get attack power absorb, so you can likely get a skill 2 off as well, and you get that 3% higher speed, as Nina is only a 21% speed lead, and at this level, every single point of speed can make the difference.
It's a really good point. Those extra percentages really matter. I know that since Nina Williams has that seal effect on skill 3, I figured I'd bring up, I've seen seal runes getting more and more popular these days as well. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, might be. And we see Sphinx, does not want to get outsped here. Obviously, King is picking quite a very cleave combination here with that double speed lead. A lot of AoE damage from that Nina as well as the Lamila. So Sphinx knows that he can't really, or assumes that he can't really out-tank. So he's going for that turn 1 play. Getting a 33, nerfed Oliver speed level, probably the fastest, one of the fastest monsters in the game in the Wunsa, and now the Megumi with another higher speed lead than anything that Kiang has, also the potential to just cut in.
He can cut in and deny a turn. Yo, shout out to the Douglas suggestion in chat. That would go so hard right now. Unfortunately, that's not what we saw. Here we go. The leader skills go out. Let's see who takes turn 1. It's probably going to be the Wunsa.
There's no Wunsa in the match. The Wunsa was banned out.
Oh, the Wunsa got banned?
Wisely from Kiang there, knows that would take the turn 1. That is a fast monkey coming out, and also Kiang is not speed tuned. Why does the intro go last?
Wait, whoa. Okay. Oh.
It might not matter though, because that is a lot of AoE damage coming out on the team.
Yeah,
it's like when it matters. The wind intro is going to do enough damage here to just cleave the team, isn't it? Only the Patter's going to live. And
look at this.
I don't think a Patter's going to get a 1v4.
Yeah, you're right, dude. It doesn't matter. Look at this. Not even going to get to move. Boom, and that's game.
Dang, okay. Well, I guess that works out too. You can have a interesting speed tuning. I guess it was a damage last turn. I don't know what that win was about, but either way, it worked out. And maybe Light Nina is stronger than Maxi. You don't need to land that defense break, and that did some insane amounts of damage right there.
Yeah, you could just use skill 3 into immunity and win the game. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of additional damage coming out of there, and obviously gets that massive damage boost if there's any sort of debuff on them. So it actually does better into tankier monsters as well. Just a flat-ish amount of extra damage based on the enemy's max health there. So just completely cleaves completely cleave the Megumi out of there and leaving the rest of the team low enough to where the Wind Indra, even without being speed tuned, was able to just take it out.
It's a good answer to some of these monsters that have been in the meta recently that are like also tanky. It's like monsters don't necessarily have to give up HP or speed nowadays to do their damage. So that's a really good response to that Light Nina. Sorry, dude, I sunk. Look at that, bro. I'm going 20,000 leagues under the desk.
Yeah, Evan is moving around, and so are the matches. We are moving along, cruising along as cleaves are going. Cleaves are happening in Legend Tournament Season 35 in 2025, almost 2026. We are still seeing Cleave do so well, and this is incredible to see some fast matches there. And this game is also close. So the first match go to all the way to Game 5, and we're now 1-1 situation here.
Yeah, here we go, guys. Nobody's got the advantage. Everybody's figuring each other out this time. This is already great so far. Kiang showing us something real fun with all that damage last game. Hopefully we get the opportunity to see that again, but I think Sphinx is going to be tuned into that.
Yeah, definitely banning out that speed lead now, and that is a big part of the combo, right? Getting those speed leads. You need that speed lead to take that turn one, and we saw how much it just mattered there. You know, that Efna did get that turn one after Wounds was banned out, and you know, Sphinx just couldn't do enough after that. Didn't have enough buff removers to back up his team. But now the Gojo is banned out, the Dark Monkey is banned out, so we go back to those pre-bans that game one, and the Wenton is first picked. So right now we're just looking at a repeat of game one.
People going back to their roots for this game. I like the Venhen pick. Venhen I find to be quite exciting. We'll see how Kiang answers. He's really taking his time to think about this one, Topa.
Yeah, it really is. He doesn't want a repeat of the game one, obviously. Yes, you know, that did not go in his favor at all. Just thinking of what can he do here to change it up, but looks like he couldn't think of anything, and he's going back to game one.
When in doubt, you know. We'll see how this works out for him. Maybe it'll work out better, because I don't remember that one working out quite as well for Kiang.
Yeah, and Sphinx, you know, just like, okay, well, I mean, I won game one, I'm pretty sure, so let's just do the same. And he's just picking the same monsters from game one in that genre, but no, actually going for a Wind Monkey, which does now have a speed lead thanks to that most recent balance patch, as well as that Dark Druid. This is so powerful in that game one.
Dude, I love Xingxie. He is like one of my favorite monsters this season. Having that speed lead is so fun for him. He's a great answer to stuff like this that just incidentally hits multiple targets.
Yeah, incidentally or on purpose, because there are a lot of AoEs that Kiang is bringing. Does not care about that Xingxie in the slightest. Just picking that light Nina, which did so well in that game one, so can't really blame him for that. But why is the wind injured there when we're not tuned? I guess you have two buff removers in front of it, so you don't really need it to be tuned. Either you have the Water Inosuke removing the buffs or the Laura, so...
Oh, and here we go with the Etna to wrap up the draft, and we know that thing's fast.
Yeah, the Efna is fast, but this almost you're forced to ban. This is weird because you kind of have to ban out the Hey Gang. Actually, the Layla is not on immunity. We saw in game one that Layla is on Nemesis, so there's something to keep in mind. And also, we do that's a weird ban coming out of Sphinx because he lets two AoE buff removers that move in front of the Nina to go through. I would like to see him ban out either the Water Inosuke or the Laura. One of them goes, the other one goes first, and then your pattern just oh my goodness! But then the Water Inosuke misses everything, and I guess doesn't really matter then.
Yeah, that's the Water Inosuke. He's been missing quite a few buffs tonight, and that's like his main job, dude.
It really is. I don't know if I agree with this Laura. Oh my goodness. Well, actually no, you can't stun the pattern, so it doesn't really matter here. Well, you can stun the pattern, but it's going to cleanse itself. I think I almost would like to see the Laura just go for a skill 2 there. Because right now, you obviously give the immunity to everything. And we know that he's not tuned on that intro as well as the Nina. But now that Layla has something to say about that. Through 3 buffs, managed to get rid of the immunity on that Nina Williams. And it is now sitting with a whole lot of debuffs on top of it.
And he's got the silence placed on it. So so Sphinx is feeling pretty happy about where he's at right now. Let's see how much damage this Chakra can do, though, because he doesn't necessarily need to land anything to do massive damage.
Yeah, well, he is going to be landing a lot of stuff, which then provides... Okay, he actually opts go for that skill 1. Doesn't want to give all that attack bar at the Sphinx team here. As obviously, anything... If he buff removes any of those monsters and applies a debuff, that is going to be the Hagen passive activating twice. And obviously with that cleansing, giving AoE attack bar. So Chakra just going for that damage on the Layla, trying to take it out here.
Oh my goodness, here we go. Sphinx was saving this one. Skill 2, big damage coming out here, and pretty much finally we're seeing some applications. I feel like people have mostly been missing their debuffs in this game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of debuffs not missing this game. I think there's at least minimum of 5 debuffs on every single monster on Kiang's side. And with all those debuffs, they're quite crippled and will be dropping here very, very soon. So it's looking very good for Sphinx.
Yeah, Sphinx is super in control. Let's see what he can do. And the answer is not much. And he even gets stunned at the end of his Thunderer state to add insult to injury.
Even more insult to injury with that Venton getting a proc, shutting Kiang's team down fully. And Kiang doesn't really have it. Well, he did miss a lot with that Inosuke tournament. That may have made a big difference because he really had to land at this pattern. So the pattern moves in front of the Laura, and then the Laura would be able to remove the immunity that the pattern would put up. But also, just the speed tuning coming out of Kiang is really not helping him.
And that's the second game in a row where that's happened. I mean, the last one he was able to win through it, but that was the second time that you've made that observation. Yeah, man, the water Inosuke, I spent a little bit of time, granted, I'm not in the same rank, but I did have him at 100% accuracy, and I found I ran into that situation a lot where he just didn't quite strip everything off my opponent.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually seen that a lot too. I feel like he misses an unusual amount. I feel like we need to almost launch an investigation on the Water Inosuke and see how his activation rates or accuracy resist checks really work out. Because yeah, I feel like that unit misses a lot. We actually saw it earlier today too. I believe Pooh was using it and missed quite a bit against Famicom. So like that monster, although it is 100% supposedly, it seems to miss at a unusually high rate.
That's what I'm talking about. We had some folks in chat asking for the build for the Fire Indra. What's really unique about him is that he's a damage dealer that doesn't need to be on crit rate, doesn't need crit damage. You can build him on attack and with high additional sources. He does want some accuracy, but he doesn't need a lot. Like Topo was saying, he hits so many times, right, dude?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Venton, you probably want to be building on like a speed HP build, or if you're really using it for damage, then have an attack slot in there somewhere. So what Thunderous State does for the Fire Indra Venton is it gives him 100% attack. So if you have a high attack on him plus additional damage from attack and speed, because you're probably ruining him fast, you can do probably about like 2,500 without branding, and then 3,000-ish with branding. So when you hit 4 times AoE, that combines to over 10,000 damage AoE.
It is so satisfying, and he's a really cool monster. Like Topa said, enjoy him while he lasts, because we don't know how much longer he's going to be in the state that he's in currently now that he's boasting such a high win rate and pick rate. And we got the light Gojo in that first slot over there on Kiyoung's side.
Yeah, going to game 4, we have a repeat of the pre-bans of game 2, the Laura. It's interesting to see that Kiang is actually just pre-banning the Water Inosuke, as Sphinx, has not been utilizing that monster. He's been the one picking that Water Inosuke, but obviously he knows he has his Gojo available. He doesn't want to give that speed lead buff remover over the Sphinx. But now we see a deviation from that game 2 draft. Tianlang is out to play, alongside the Ventan, which is now on Kiang's side.
Yeah, and that Fire Megami is Tianlang's best friend. He gets so much bar from that guy. And Sphinx following up with 2 very high impact dark monsters with the Monkey King and the Patter.
Yeah, very high impact there. We'll see if Kiang is still going for that cleave. Does he pick that light Nina? It did work out quite well for him, but the Patter does look to counter that also. And he doesn't really have that many. Well, we do have the light Gojo, very consistent buffer. Well, not even a very consistent, but quite consistent buff remover. But the Tianlang is not all too consistent. And he pivots into a Wusa here instead.
Oh, some immunity in the face. It's good, but there's already quite a few strip options over here. And now you're basically... Do you have to ban the Gianna with that in mind?
Yeah, I think you almost have the bandage. I really don't like Kiang's position here. I think Sphinx is looking very strong, because I think Sphinx, all he has to do is ban out this light Gojo. There's no speed lead, and then you're going to outspeed and completely just run over Kiang's team here. Either you get a full team stun with the Gianna or the Dark Monkey, as I assume, both of those. Well, I assume the Chakra is actually tuned, unlike on Kiang's side, and, we'll be able to get the strip in front of that Dark Monkey.
Yeah, it's looking good on paper for Sphinx here. We'll see how it ends up actually going in the game. Again, Sphinx at match point here with 2 points on the board. Let's see here. We got Chakra moving ahead. So now he can get a good strip here to set up for the Dark Monkey King.
Oh, but he doesn't get a good strip.
No!
Wow, that is really unfortunate. That is a double hit on that skill. So there's 2 chances the buff remove. Chakra is an extremely consistent buff remover. We talked about the Water Inosuke not feeling so consistent, but Chakra is an extremely consistent one, but still just missing 2 there. The Wusa getting the violent proc as well, getting the heals, and this might be just what Kiang needs to stay in this match here.
That's so true, dude. That's really bad if you're Sphinx, because you don't have what you need to capitalize on these defense breaks you set up. The rest of the team is looking relatively healthy. Truly, Kiang could stabilize from here, and he's already looking pretty good.
Ooh, that is a lot of damage coming out of that Chakra. That Venton is looking very low, and that Megumi is doing very well with removing these buffs. Oh my goodness, Monk with the skill 1 stun as well.
Oh!
On the other hand, Kiang didn't have that buff removed from Tianlang, as it did get stunned, so the Patter did provide enough protection for Sphinx here. Now the Tianlang coming with that skill too, and I mean, it did almost nothing.
That was really well navigated by Sphinx too, because you saw his hesitation to going in on that monster, on that Venpan. You know, there's a number of things to consider. There was the Wusa shield, whether or not it would fade away, and also the Lamila with the arsenal.
Yeah, the Lamila is now getting control. I believe the Chakra will be outspeeding that as well. The skill 2 might, probably not quite enough. Lamila does have a chance to Violent Proc out here, but has to get that Violent Proc because we need that skill 2 damage. And even then, it's a very uphill battle for Kiang here.
Yeah, and also there's still 4 monsters in play.
Oh.
She procs out. Here comes the arsenal. You see that damage split amongst all the monsters, though. It's not that bad.
Man, if only that Tianlang had a bit more damage and was able to take out that Megumi, that damage would have been only spread between 3 monsters then. And that would have been incredible for Kiang. But right now, as you mentioned, that damage is not so much. Sphinx team is very tanky, and now Pata responds back to Violent Proc, and that is going to base take out Tianlang and move Sphinx into the finals.
Yeah, this was really well drafted by Sphinx. It felt like he had duplicates of everything he needed, which is, you know, RTA. It's an RTA masterclass here from Sphinx when it comes to that pick ban phase. He had contingencies on contingencies, and it got him the finalist position. That was incredible, Topa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw that pocket Gianna last week. We actually haven't seen a Gianna all day here today. Wait, no, we did. Famicom did draft the Gianna once, but you know, Gianna has been very strong in the meta as well. And you know, Sphinx having that as a pocket pick there when Kiang pivots in that slower turn 2 style with that immunity, and Gianna's right there, just shut it completely down. And we saw it was a forced ban, but even then, Kiang just didn't have enough as it still got buff removed by the Chakra into the monkey, and that was enough. Even though the Chakra did miss 2 strips turn 1.
That was really surprising to me, dude. Yeah, we've seen a lot of really inconsistent buff removers tonight, and you know that it felt pretty bad for him in the start. But yeah, Sphinx did a really good job in that game. So now we've got Famicom and Sphinx in the finals, and everybody in chat has a coupon code. Take a look. Last Legend 2025, and you can get yourself some scrolls in the mana to open them as well. That's true, Topa. It is the Last Legend tournament of 2025. The next time we do this, it'll be 2026.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. The new year is almost upon us, so we have just 11 days left of 2025, which is just crazy. I feel like this year just absolutely flew by. But either way, yeah, thank you guys for joining the stream. Here's a little token of our appreciation for you watching, and we still have a finals to look forward to. So super exciting stuff coming up.
Dang Skippy, dude. And we got more codes. We got more where that came from. Stay tuned, guys, because we'll be right back for the finals after this short break. All right, everyone, we are back just in time for the finals, Topa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got one banger of a final in front of us. We had a probably an upset in that first match there between Pooh and Famicom, but Famicom now finds himself in the finals, the first time he's made it to Legend Tournament against, a previous champion in Sphinx. So no easy match for him in the finals either.
No, dude. Yeah, credit where it's due. He really showed up against Pooh in that first match, but now we've got to do it again up against Sphinx. So this is going to be a banger of a finals. We're still in best of five, guys, and by the end, we will have our RTA Season 35 legend.
Yeah, but before we get there, we'll take a look at these highlights here between Sphinx and Kian to see, how Sphinx made it to the finals here. We already know that Famicom is there. Well, we also know that Sphinx is there, but this is how he got there. We got that Sonia being tanked by that Layla just so barely, but it doesn't matter. Layla is just as effective at, 10% health as she is at full health. I really do like to bring that point on that, it doesn't matter. As long as you're alive, you're alive. Anyways, in this game too, we see that Nina did so much damage there, Evan.
Oh yeah, that was one of my favorite games too, because it's like, we didn't see a whole lot go right for Kiang there, and he just, the speed tuning was off, he didn't get the strips he needed, but the damage was enough. It was very funny to watch, and it was really fast. It left a lot of people baffled, including me and the chat.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was one thing that he did have go right there was that damage. All the damage just came through. And even through the immunity, he kind of just cleaved Sphinx there ultimately. But, it didn't matter in the end as Layla was so much in this game through as well. And then the Patter just really doing so well. Even with the strips missing in the game 4, the Patter providing that immunity was able to protect Sphinx team long enough to where he was able to get those strips coming with that Fire Megami then, and then, get back in control of this game 4.
Yeah, and this is that moment where he took that kill that really set the course for the game in motion. After that, he was being a little hesitant because he was trying to dodge that sacrifice meter from the Lamile, navigated it really well, and ultimately he became our second finalist with Famicom. And so now we are at the precipice of the Legend Tournament here, chat. We're going to find our winner at the end of this one. This is the bracket that we've been through right now. And those finals, that was unpopulated before this. And now we got Famicom and Sphinx ready to throw down in our last best of 5 of the night, the last best of 5 of the year.
Yeah, that is the case. And, there can only be one Legend Summoner for Season 35. And that is the reason why we do these Legend tournaments. As, I believe in Season 6, there were actually 2 Legends. So, then Contest stepped in and no more of the shared Legends. We have a tournament now, which is also very cool to see, We get to see a bit more of these players, especially in a different mode as well, as we are playing in the SWC mode, which obviously all ladder is non-SWC.
It's the best, dude. I'm so glad that we ended up with this as the format for figuring out who number 1 is, because it is so fun to see these folks throw down in a bracket for us. Like, we get to watch it for entertainment. And again, guys, I know we've said it before and we're going to keep on saying it. We really appreciate you staying up late, watching the tournament with us. We're having a blast. We're tired. It's late, but it's so much fun to watch these guys throw down at the Legend Tournament.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't miss this for anything, right? Like we are here, we are locked in, and we are excited for this finals to come through. Can Famicom do it? His first time in the Legend tournament. Already did an incredible feat in taking down Pooh 3-2 to get to the finals here, but he's now in the finals. And Sphinx is, I think Pooh and Sphinx, they kind of play together, they kind of train together. They have a really similar play style a lot of the time. So maybe, Famicom did figure out Pooh. Maybe he has to answer against Sphinx here as well.
Yeah, dude, I think, myself included and a lot of folks in chat, we weren't really believers for Famicom coming into this, especially up against the Titans that we've talked about so far, but he really showed his stuff up against Pooh. So if he could do it there, he could probably do it here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Sphinx, has definitely been watching that game against, or definitely watched that game that Famicom had against Pooh there as well, and seeing how he can exploit those weaknesses that Famicom definitely did have there. Maybe, that Tian Lang or monsters alike. But we are getting the final game here.
That's right, dude. The finals. The first match of a potentially 5-match set. We'll see in this best of 5 here. Sphinx versus Famicom. The pre-bans are out. Shiho's down there, and so is Vendan.
Interesting to see that Famicom is pre-banning the Venton there, as he does have first pick available, so it's probably going for that Dark Monkey in the first pick. Now, that is a monster that they do share, and, Dark Monkey and Venton are probably the two strongest AoE crowd control monsters currently in the game. So, pre-banning one of them, taking the other, seems like a pretty solid plan to me.
Oh, and it all comes back to the water and Nosuke. I'm not sold on him, but you know what? Your mileage may vary, and hopefully Sphinx's will too.
Yeah, definitely. The Water Inosuke as well as the Chakra. So two AoE buff removers that Sphinx is picking up here in his first two picks. So taking a lot of those away from Famicom. Also, the Water Monkey is in the pre-ban. So some of these, fast monsters, especially ones that do buff remove, have already been taken away. So he's going for the Sierra and a Light Twin Angels, which is quite cool.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah, it's not something we always get to see out there.
But that is also something that is probably slower than the Water Inosuke. So you're looking at getting outsped right now. But Sphinx, picking up this trusted pattern here, looking to just cut in, just in case he doesn't get that turn one. He now has a pattern to cut in as well as Monkey for those incidental revenge stuns.
I love the Xingshi. I've already talked at length about why, but that's 24 speed lead in addition to those counterattacks. Counterattacks can come in real clutch up against something like the Light Twin Angels. Less so against the Dark Monkey King though, but I'm wondering if I wonder what Sphinx has in store for that rather.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the 24 speed lead opens up so many options for the Xingshi here as well, because now Sphinx actually has a double speed in his draft. So he could even pivot to something like a Sonya in the last pick, if that situation allowed for it. Probably not in this case. By the way, you could still go for some speed threats ultimately in that final pick. But he's going for that Dark Demon. We saw that Dark Demon was in his most banned. Not in the most picked, but in the most banned. So that means every time that monster is picked, it's usually getting banned.
And this time might be no different. He is just so difficult to play around. And I really respect that in damage dealing units that make you think about the game differently. It's not as plain and simple as just taking him out, because he's going to come back. And then he sets off a chain reaction of revives that apparently Famicom is just not ready to deal with.
Yeah, well, the only time he doesn't come back is if he's getting reset. And I was going to say there is a potential reset on the side of Famicom with that Light Twin Angel skill too. So Sphinx, does get rid of that, and Famicom doesn't want to take the risk if his Light Twins do get banned out. It's a really tough situation going up against that Beelzebub. So wisely does ban that out.
Yeah, that was well played in the pick ban phase. Let's see how this goes, guys. We're getting into round one right now. The Water Inosuke taking turn ones, hopefully setting up for the Chakra.
Water Inosuke getting the turn one. Yeah, there's setup for the Chakra, could set up the defense pick as well. But is it going to be enough damage? I believe Famicom's Sierra is quite tanky, but that Monkey is fast too, so his whole team is actually following up. I think something is dropping from Famicom's side here.
Yeah, it's all right there. Wow, he gets it. Now here comes the Chakra. Let's see how much damage this does here, Topa.
I mean, with the branding, surely, and the Monkey and the pattern, surely this Sierra is going to go down. It's going to be really difficult for Famicom to win. Well, but if he actually throws everything in the Sierra, he's not putting up immunity with the pattern. So maybe there's a chance with the Dark Monkey then, but actually he doesn't even need the pattern damage most likely, as the Monkey with the skill 2 is enough.
Right? It looks like enough, and you see all this estimation that's going on, chat, right? Sphinx taking his time. Oh, it's not quite enough. He's got it. Now he's got to make a choice. All that estimation was figuring out whether or not he had enough damage to take it down, because Seimei is going to heal it if he doesn't.
Okay, that is a interesting decision from Famicom there. Just going for a skill 1 stun on the Monkey.
You should have skilled 3. You definitely should have skilled 3.
Yeah, it applies the cleanse block as well. So even if the pattern were the violent proc, it couldn't actually cleanse the stuns or the defense break off the monsters. So I think there's definitely, maybe he ran out of time there, but oh my goodness, he is not getting the RNG right now either. He revives the Sierra, but the bomb does not connect. And now with the Bayek here, goes for the silence on the pattern, but it would be getting cleansed if it were to be stunned by this Dark Monkey here.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe he saw the future and he was trying to set up for the silence, but like, yeah, I don't know. I would have skill 3'd there with the Monkey, because then you could have potentially capitalized on that in this time. But we'll see how it goes. It might not be the defining feature of this game. Sphinx has a pretty good hold on it. We'll see.
Yeah, I think he absolutely had the skill 3 there because that the pattern was actually forced to S1 the CR anyways. Because if he doesn't, oh my goodness, this bike does so much damage. I think Famicom is actually in a very good position here now. That bike is doing so much damage, it's absolutely deleted the pattern off the field. And now the monkey with the skill 3 is going to put a lock on Sphinx's team here.
Now he can do it. Now he can do it safely, and he might have just dug himself out of that hole with that 22% right there.
Yeah, that bike is putting in work. It also has very low cooldowns. So after getting that violent proc, if it procs again, it has skill 3 available again. Or if Save Me were the proc and refresh, it would have that as well. But now there's another silence coming through, likely going on that Xingje, so it doesn't get that cycling from the turn 2.
The bike's just got that disruption that you need in skill 2, and he's got the high potency skill 3. What a great monster. I mean, we're really seeing it shine here. So he's thinking about spreading around the crowd control. He's not eager to get rid of the monkey. It's silence. There's not a whole lot it can do, and it's on cooldown regardless.
Yeah, really not caring about this monkey, just hitting other monsters, not even getting revenge by the monkey. So monkey is kind of sitting on the sidelines here, not really doing a whole lot, while his brother, the dark monkey here, is doing quite a bit of work with those stunts and the violent procs.
And now this is the situation that Sphinx was measuring before, where he's like, okay, I think Seimei is going to get a lot of value out of this if I use it. And I think that might be the case unless he gets it. There's no way this kills. So yeah, Seimei is probably going to be healing up her team based off all these debuffs.
Who is the chakra? I love this play. I was going to say, I think the play is to revive the Sierra, go for the skill 3, attack bar pushback, because this guarantees that your bike is moving in front. Oh my goodness, no. Is it going to
If he can crit, he might actually... If he can crit, he could make something happen here. You have to rip the skill 2 and go for it. No crit. The heal from the Seimei comes out, and he has skill 3 available.
The bike is going to be healed nearly to full HP, but I love that play coming out of Famicom. He's actually recognized that the chakra is probably outspeeding his bike. And if that's the case, the bike drops there. Bike dies for sure. So he goes for the revive onto the Sierra for the skill 3 attack bar pushback that it now has. And, it is enough to make the chakra move after the bike. But I don't know if it's enough for him to win the game here.
Yeah, this is looking pretty tough right now. He can cycle into this, do a big skill 2 if he wants. Again, you got to watch out for the heals. Can it confirm? It does kill the Bayek.
And stuns both the other monsters. So very good crowd control coming out of there. But now, I mean, it's still not over because, oh my, okay, he's getting a lot of debuffs. All those debuffs are going to be heals that Seimei is going to be putting out there.
Oh my god, it is not over. Every time I think that one player is taking the lead, the other one takes it right back. Sphinx has a really good moment here.
Oh, and he has skill 2 available once again. Is that enough to kill the monkey? He goes for the skill 1. But the Water Inosuke moves now. I think it will be enough to take out this monkey here.
So he's playing it safe here. He's really trying not to add up more. But the Seimei procs into skill 2. She doesn't have bomb. Oh my god, he's safe.
Why did he revive Sierra now? Why did he revive Sierra?
Did he think she had bomb?
I don't know, but I think you just... Oh, wait, but the monkey survives. No, but the monkey's not going to live here, though. The skill 2 is going to be enough damage.
This kills. This kills 100%. Sphinx has taken and lost control of this game more times than I can count, Topa. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, well, I guess ultimately maybe it didn't really matter because I think if I were him, I would have Seimei skill 2 the monkey, is expecting that it would have. Well, actually it's kind of hard because then Sphinx probably doesn't hit it. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Sierra's definitely not the revive. That's not the revive. Like, you only get a skill 1. The Bayek would have been a better revive, right? Because then you had skill 2 available on the Bayek, and you could have silenced something also, but probably would have done more damage. By the way, as played, Sphinx will be taking the win here with that chakra skill 2 and the lead.
And I agree with you about with the Bayek. I think the Bayek was probably the revive there because I don't think the Bayek had skills either, but his skills are more valuable at that point in the game because you don't need the Sierra bomb for anything. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think the Bayek has skill 2 available. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe there was a skill 2 available. Either way, even a skill 1 probably does more damage than a Sierra skill 1. And for sure you don't have Sierra skills available as you only took 2 turns on her, right? Those were only the 2 revive times that she got revived. But quite unfortunate for Famicom there. He did miss that initial CR bomb, and I think ultimately that is really what it came down to, right? That was a very close game. If there was a CR bomb on that chakra, it would have been out of the game way long, way well. I guess it never left the game, but it would have been out of the game way sooner.
But it might have gotten out of the game, dude. But it's like we were saying, Sphinx started strong, lost control of Famicom, took it back, lost control, took it back. That was a roller coaster of a game. It's going to be a fascinating highlight reel when it comes back around too.
Oh, for sure. And I think Famicom had a couple of questionable plays there. You know, he held that monkey skill to return one. I really would like to see him use that. But I guess it kind of worked out for him in the end because he got a very nice skill 3 later on. But, you know, I think, yeah, either way, moving on to game 2 here.
I can't believe that was the same game, by the way. When you called back to that, I was like, oh, that was like, that was all one game. There were so many decisions that I'd forgotten about. Because, yeah, that skill 3, I still would have used it. I ended up seeing the vision of what he was doing, but I feel like he kind of had to get lucky to get that perfect vision. But anyway, yeah, like you said, here we go. The pre-bans are it's the same as a pre-ban, and so is Pater now.
Yeah, we see the LDs, I guess these players have been abusing here in today's tournament. Now both finding their way into the pre-ban. The Seimei, I guess the Patter beat Seimei, as we saw right there. You know, Patter did get that win against Seimei, as Pooh really didn't find any answer against the Seimei.
Oh, he's taking back the Venhan and deciding instead to take away his opponent's Dark Monkey King.
Yeah, does value the Dark Monkey a bit more, or maybe doesn't value the Dark Monkey as much as Venhan, but just values taken away from Famicom.
I mean, the Dark Monkey is clearly a really difficult monster to play around, and he doesn't have his Pater anymore, too. I mean, the cleanse block was already a problem, but he'd rather have it on his side for a reason. Here comes the Water Inosuke again. His performance was slightly better than previous runs, actually.
It definitely was, and also did pretty decent damage with that skill too. You know, applying that Diva Break, but also good damage. You also saw Famicom now going back to his very safe and trusted comp here in that Sierra and the Water Monkey Shiho that he was utilizing against Pooh as well. And now
I was just gonna say this is the Leo game.
Yeah, this is the Leo game. You know, Famicom is almost baiting out these chakras as well as the Water Inosuke's, and then just, I mean, this is exactly what he drafted against Pooh. We'll see how Sphinx adapts to this, and he has a couple other LDs that Pooh may not have available that might do quite well here.
Yeah, and I currently I don't think there's a world where we really see this Dark Demon continue unless Famicom has some way to increase its cooldown time that he's going to draft here.
Yeah, I believe the Dark Demon is going to be banned out. I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of Eleanor here. There's a lot of multi-hits, so the glancing from the passive gets a lot less value, right? Because you really want that glancing against something like a Sonya and just absolutely RNG the Sonya out of the world and, you know, get that glance. But if Bayek like glances one hit, like doesn't really matter. If Shio glances one time, doesn't really matter. CR bombs don't really care about that either. So while it does have good uptime, the immunity, I mean, perfect uptime, but there's could be some awkward turns where, you know, you don't have that immunity, and it also is quite squishy in that human form.
Okay, so I imagine the Dark Demon's getting banned out. Are you banning out the Gianna on the other side or the Ciara? What are you feeling?
I think
you do ban them?
it is not a Dark Demon ban. Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably gonna be the Leo ban. I know Sphinx and Pooh, they really don't like fighting against that Leo. They really value their chakras highly. They, you know, like to get that online by any means necessary. And now Famicom is definitely going to be taking the turn 1 here. Hello.
Yeah, this could be a really interesting game. I tend to be more afraid of that the Ciara Gianna combo. They just work so well together. Let's see how it goes. We get one bomb on the Eleanor. Here comes the stuns. Critical error comes out. She gets almost everything she wants.
Yeah, doesn't get the demon there. Is he going to be going for silence on that demon here? Or does he just go full on damage? No, Rampage is going out. It's going out on this monkey. That skill 2 does so much damage. Just half health on the monkey right off the bat. With that bomb, it's probably going to be confirming the kill.
Yeah, I think so. It could, and you can just leave it if you want. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even technically have to detonate it. It's not actually as greedy as it seems either, because it's basically just extending the stun duration.
Well, I don't know. It's a little bit greedy because the Eleanor could have procced out and resist the bomb stun, or the Eleanor now has a chance to proc out of this bomb stun or resist the bomb stun. There's a lot of chances with Eleanor to actually get the transformation off and
You're right.
then the skills. But now he's not going for the damage of the Eleanor. Oh, actually, well, no, Chakra could push back the Sierra. Let's get the pushback. Eleanor doesn't do it. Okay.
Dude. Oh my gosh, Famicom is playing this so well. You know, one way or another, you're right. There is some greed in there, but I would call it calculated risk, and it is coming up Famicom right now. Famicom's got this under control. He can confirm the kills one by one. Here comes all or nothing. Unfortunately for Famicom, doesn't get any results from it though.
Yeah, that dark monkeying is about to be back as the skill 2 is likely going to take out that Sierra. Dark Monkey is back and does still have all skills available as it has not taken a turn yet, and there are no reasons on Famicom's side.
Oh, it was pretty rough that the all or nothing came up on nothing.
Oh yeah, it definitely was that Shiho not getting the value that it got against Pooh. And now, wait, if the Shiho gets pushed back here, I think Dark Monkey might move. Oh my god, he gets stunned. Dark Monkey with the skill 3.
No, the Dark Monkey's getting the turn. Famicom lost control just as quickly as he got it. Oh no, look at this. If you're Famicom, you are sweating and screaming.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see the brutal power of this Dark Demon. Now he's revived 2 monsters, and, you know, you still can't kill it. And it's just going to be taking out more monsters here. And Sphinx really just swung the pendulum in his favor with that Dark Demon.
Yeah, the Dark Demon was the way that he got it, but Shiho was kind of an accomplice, we'll say.
Yeah, Shiho definitely not helping Famicom's case here. Let's get the kill on the Chakra with that S1 from the bike, but this demon is looking to revive that Chakra here very, very soon, as well as does have skill 3 available, or skill 2 available here once again.
Yeah, this is why it's in the most banned. It's so hard to play against. Like, you know, you think you're navigating it, and then all of a sudden, this happens. You miss one thing, and then he gets the moment to revive the whole comp. Sphinx is at match point, Coco.
Yeah, that he is. You know, Famicom was navigating that quite well against the Dark Demon. He wasn't really damaging it. He wasn't even using the detonate on the Sierra. You know, even prevent that every bit of damage going on that demon. But he did miss that stun on the Gianna on that demon turn 1, which may have costed him dearly in that match.
Yeah, you hate to see it if you're Famicom, right? Like, seriously, kudos to him for playing so well during that moment. There wasn't a whole lot he could do about it at that time, but also, you know, Sphinx, great draft, and also very fun that we got to see that Dark Demon in play. It's very rare that it makes it out of a pick ban phase.
Right, it is super rare, you know. Yeah, every time that monster is picked, I mean, it's typically picked in a situation where it is a force ban. And in case it's not a force ban, it might just win the game. And we kind of saw it win the game there. Once again, it was a bit fortunate for him to not get stunned by that Gianna, as that definitely would have made a big difference there. But then again, also, Famicom did land both his bombs, did land the stun with the Shiho. So he got a lot going on as well.
Exactly. It was, the RNG was going both ways. Now, here's the real question. As a newcomer to the tournament, can Famicom not get too shaken up by that? You know, can he keep his wits about him here in this potentially last pick ban phase, as Sphinx is sitting at 2 points to his 0?
Yeah, Famicom has to make a reverse sweep here if he wants this legend title. And now he's pre-banning the Ventan once again. Once again, we're going back to the pre-bans of that game 1. Famicom may be willing to run it back, as that Sierra just barely died. And it did miss that bomb on that revive. So maybe if that bomb lands once again, he could have won that game 1.
Is this signaling that he wants the Dark Monkey King this time, since he's banning the Ventan, perhaps?
Most likely, that's what we saw him do game 1, but no, he's actually has a Chakra, has a Wind Indra in his pocket as well, and now taking that away from Sphinx, as you know, it's been using that to great effect here, but that Dark Monkey is gone just as fast.
Yeah, this is clearly a tough matchup for these players because they share so many crucial monsters. It's so easy for them to just take whatever they want from each other, and it's obviously pretty disruptive. So let's see how Famicom answers this. We're already seeing him slow down in his picks compared to the last couple games here. The pressure is really on. We can see that he's getting down to the wire. He has to decide or he's going to go to time, and he opts for Sekhmet. Oh, what a dude. Sekhmet has failed me multiple times today.
Oh man, if I'm in a time of need and I call for backup, I see Sekhmet come for backup, I'm calling for more backup. That is not the monster I want to see if I'm down 2-0 in a game and, you know, the opponent is sitting at a match
I'm
point.
sending her home. I'm sending her back home, dude.
Anyway, Famicom is placing full faith in this segment being able to land and going for a bit, you know, a bit more sustained with that Seimei here once again now.
Let's see the faith. He needs one more speed lead as well. He's only got 124 out there, potentially, unless it's a really suspiciously fast Sekhmet, which is not impossible. Looks like might be the case. He's banking on it.
Yeah, might not need a second speed lead here as Sphinx did slow down his draft, but Sphinx could just have a... Well, you kind of need a... He does have a double speed lead, so it kind of need a buff remover that also CC, so the only monster that really does that is Gianna, but that was taken away. So it doesn't really matter that Famicom only has one speed lead. There's now a Julianne on Sphinx side, which is going to be difficult for Famicom to take on. Maybe not, actually. He does have quite a bit of AoE damage, especially if that chakra gets let through. He might drain all the HP from the team by hitting that Julianne.
True that. And if the chakra gets through, or I'm sorry, excuse me, if the Chandra gets through with the chakra, that means he's also going to have slows in combination. And slows are one of the few buffs that really have a lasting impact on Julian to keep him from getting to his turn so he can cleanse. Looks like Famicom's not as comfortable as we thought that he might be up against it, and he opts to ban it.
Yeah, you know, can't really go wrong with that, right? You saw the first 4 monsters, so you made your draft based on those first four monsters. So when in doubt, you can really just ban out last pick, right? You can't really go wrong with that. If you go wrong with, or if you know lose, then well, your draft kind of sucked in the first place, right? Because like you already saw what the opponent was presenting, and that is a fast segment as it does take the turn 1 here.
Yeah, and he got it. The backup actually worked this time. So now Inosuke is going to open up the field, but there's no follow-up for it.
I'd love to see it, but how fast is Sphinx's Wind Monkey? It actually outsped everything else on Famicom's team. Outsped Gianna, outsped Chakra, outsped literally everything. Like this monkey, it does have incredible base speed as all monkeys do, but that is still a very fast monkey.
Yeah, it's a really fast family. Look at that. Not a lot of day miss crit though. Yeah, this is the failing here. Now that Sekhmet's reset the Dark Monkey King, there's not a lot to do now that the strips have gone out. So Chakra has got a moment here to make a big impact.
He does. Let's get that Thunder going, as well as probably the brandings, as well as the attack break, so it could be mitigating some damage, and then setting up for some bit more damage from that Chandra skill 3, as well as you said, the slows are going to be coming out, so this Chakra might start running laps around Sphinx's team here.
Dude, devastating. Slows are consistently one of the best debuffs in the game. Like that turn denial is so strong. You may not always notice it. And look at that, the Dark Monkey King, fortunate enough to proc out. Oh, doesn't get the hug. Whoa.
Yeah, that is quite a huge violent proc, getting out of that slow, but then missing the strip onto that Gianna, so that hug still stays, and Gianna is still somewhat protected. But also that Sekhmet is quite a Nephthys, as it lands a whole lot of debuffs. Every single debuff lands on this Dark Monkey.
Yeah, she's inspired by her sister for sure. What can Eleanor even do? She doesn't have skills.
Yeah, can transform here, but now you're putting up buffs on your team, so if this Gianna does manage to get a violent proc here, and there's no buffs, so she's guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but quite guaranteed to get those stuns, and actually that is an interesting play, hitting the Gianna, so the Chandra just revenges and kills him? What?
Was that a, I think it might have been a turn to time, because she auto-attacked into the dark unit, so she auto-attacked off to her natural enemy element.
Yeah, I think that may have been a timeout from Sphinx. Yeah, that otherwise makes absolutely zero sense. She was already provoked anyway, so like stunning it doesn't even do anything. But with that, I think now Famicom is just going to be winning this game. I don't know if that caused him to win this game, as he likely would have got this Gianna to go off anyways. And probably would have been fine either way, but you know what? Sekhmet did her job and gets Famicom opponent on the board.
She did. Dude, I had my doubt. Look at this. Right as we said that, she misses, by the way. Right as we said that, she missed the reset. But, like, you know, when it mattered, she showed up and she landed it for him. So now we're going into the next round. Sphinx still at match point, but Famicom showing that there is life here.
yeah, there is light maybe at the end of the tunnel here. You know, it's not going to be so easy. Not going to be a 3-0 sweep for Sphinx here in Famicom, putting up a fight for sure. And he did get a little bit of rough RNG in the first 2 games. So now maybe his RNG is turning around, you know, maybe disconnecting Sphinx's internet there for a second as well to get that auto attack going that Gianna. And then Sean Revenge takes it out. But either way, Famicom does get a point on the board, and we are going to game 4 here shortly.
And what a devastating move to do when you run out of time too. It's like it's just a counterattack kill the unit. That was really sad. That was, like you said, that was definitely not the thing that made Sphinx lose that game, but it was definitely a kick while he was down.
Oh yeah, for sure. It definitely didn't help him. That's for sure. You know, it just went out there. Well, even then, the Gianna probably would have been able to get the skill 3 off, and then that probably would have been all that Famicom needed, unless the Eleanor were to get like a binary proc and stun it later. But either way, we are going into game 4 here. Now, Famicom is really grown to respect the chakra from stealing it last match to now putting in the pre-ban, Evan.
Oh yeah, it's it's been a long run for these units tonight, both of them in the pre-ban now. All right, let's see the Vendhand. Is it gonna stick this time? Everybody's reconsidering the Vendhand. He's great, guys. Just lock it in.
Yeah, the Vendhand, but now that leaves Famicom with the Dark Monkey. There's no Seimei on Famicom's side, so the Vendhand, all those debuffs can't really be hard countered by that Seimei later on. But is Famicom not even taking the Dark Monkey here? Oh, he is.
Oh, he's taking the monkeys. Oh, we're in the jungle. Look at this. We got all the monkeys. Sphinx is doing a return to form. We saw this comp earlier, I think, actually.
Yeah, we got monkeys, we got hogs, we got druids. We are really in the depths of the jungle here now, and we'll see. Maybe even maybe the wind monkey makes an appearance here too. But Famicom likely going to be picking up some sort of speed leads here. But we see an Oliver from him now, not the Sierra, as well as that fast light twin angels.
This would be a great opportunity for the Wind Monkey King as well. There's a lot of things to counterattack here if he wants to. In choosing... Oh, a Layla.
This is also quite strong from Sphinx. He has that very strong combination of the Patter as well as the Hagen. That's a lot of attack power that you're getting. Even if one of them gets let through, that's kind of a counter to the Light Twins. And then you also have the threat of outspeeding with the Water Inosuke into putting a debuff, which then gives attack bar to Layla. So your Layla is going to be moving right after the Water Inosuke. That's a pretty nice combination that we've seen if some players utilize later in the season.
Really good point. I do think we're in a position where that Wind Nobara is... Oh, a force ban, I was going to say. I still think it should have been the ban. But we'll... I don't know. How do you get rid of that thing now? There's no defense break for Patter.
Yeah, well, there is defense break. The Water Inosuke does defense break. I'm personally one of like the biggest Aya haters. I don't really believe in this Wind Nobara here. The Patter has heals, and the Patter has some decent damage also with just the turn cycling from Layla, the slows. But that is definitely a good ban from Famicom onto the Fire Indra as it gets rid of the pushback. So maybe the Nobara does do enough here. It also comes down to the fact that whether or not she gets violent procs.
It's a really good point. It's going to come down to that, right? Does she proc to stack on the damage and to cycle out a defense break as well? Because that's the biggest factor here. If the Water Inosuke can land the defense break, that does open up a pathway for the Patter to just take it out early.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Does he go for it right away? He might go for it right away here. The defense break, nope, goes on the Dark Monkey here instead. And as we see there, the defense break is now a debuff, so Layla gains the attack bar, moving in front of the Water Monkey, and does get a silence on that monkey. But since he put, oh my goodness, he put that debuff on the Dark Monkey, that means you cannot silence it with Layla, but let's get that proc, or just get all the bar from that skill too, and just manage to stun it.
Oh, and actually, this is a great moment too, because the Aya, the Wind Nobara, has a slow on her. So if you don't touch that unit for a little while, Sphinx can stabilize here.
I definitely can. That's why I think the Patter is just enough to counter the Aya here. It also does provide that immunity, which prevents the Aya from getting the provokes out. That, draws the folks' attention to her. That then, probably put some debuffs and stuff like that. But with that immunity, I think the Patter is going to be sufficient to counter this Aya here. And it's not going to be able to do the 1v4 as the rest of Famicom's team is looking kind of dead.
Yeah. Definitely. There's not a lot that they can really contribute right now. And just look at how little bar the Aya is gaining. Like this is definitely a very good sequence of events for Sphinx.
Oh man, this Layla stuns are going quite well as well. Just getting another stun on the monkey. No monkey business happening here as they are being fully locked down. Hagen could go for a skill 2 here. Oh my goodness, but he can just get another. There's this full AoE stun from single hit despairs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wasn't quite enough, so he can try again. That proc was almost just like rounding up for him right now.
Yeah, definitely. Now there's no immunity though. So here's the chance. Has to get the provoke on this Layla. It's imperative.
Oh,
and does actually get
yes.
the provoke. There's a chance here.
This is...
Oh my god.
Now this is looking pretty dicey for Sphinx because Famicom, those provokes landed really well.
Yeah, but Sphinx is getting quite fortunate here. There's a lot of despair stuns coming out. Like the monkeys are being fully controlled. But with this AoE damage here, everything's actually put at 1 HP pretty much. And there's a debuff. But there's a stun. So that means the Aya won't be getting a turn. Is Layla now not getting the stuns though?
So now you just use all your skills because 1% is the same as whatever. You just gotta hope for it. They're gonna start dropping one by one. The heals go down. Oh, the Shiho stays alive. Oh, he has to sink one more turn into it.
I think that was a slight misplay. I think the kill was actually on the Haegang and not the Patter with that Aya. Because I think the Shiho would have moved in front of the Patter, but we saw that the Haegang was moving next. Shiho could have taken another one of them. I don't think it's gonna matter here,
I don't think so
right?
either.
Because this thing has to, it would have to stun. Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter
And
either
I think
way.
Aya can just kill with skill 2 as well.
Yeah, the Aya actually did do enough here. And
Yeah, no
we're going to
pushback.
game 5, Evan.
We're going to game 5, baby. Let's go. We're going to a game 5 of the finals. Here we go. This is yeah, that was a really well done ban from Famicom too, because you know, like we were talking about, there's no decrease of attack bar once the bend hand is gone, or at least not enough to reliably keep Aya from getting to her next turn. So it's like you're just waiting for that moment where she can provoke everybody.
Famicom really put all his eggs in the Aya basket, and you know it did work out in the end. We even saw, you know, him give it that attack bar with the Aya with that light twinge when he took that silence turn. Just use that skill 1 for a little bit more attack bar booster, just going full on in the Aya, and it paid out. You know, it did do enough there for him, and we are going to a game 5, which is super exciting.
Yeah, dude, this is gonna be great. Game 5. Let's see. I can't wait. I can't wait for this. Chat, I want to see who you're rooting for. Famicom or Sphinx. This could go either way to me, Topa, truly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Famicom is actually looking to pull the reverse sweep here. He was down 2-0, and he's now clawed his way back to a 2-2 situation here. Can he actually complete the full-on reverse sweep? Yeah, that would be quite incredible to see. And I mean, Sphinx is definitely going to be doing his best to deny that as we get into the final game of the year.
Oh yeah, here we go, guys. No matter what, this is the last game of the night. By the end of this, we will have our new legend for season 35 of RTA. Let's see how this goes. Will it be Sphinx or will it be the newcomer Famicom?
And at least one of the players is really taking their time with this pre-ban here. We're already ran the clock down 30 seconds. What do you want to pre-ban here? You know, the Dark Monkey, maybe the Vendhan, things like that. The Patter is probably, no, it's going to be a Vendhan that Famicom is banning on. Maybe he's comfortable now fighting that Patter.
Yeah. All right, let's see. These have been good games. These have been good games so far.
Absolutely. We see Sphinx going to that Water Monkey pre-ban and Famicom now taking away that chakra. Really, this has really been what turned the tide here, so to say. Famicom lost the first 2 games against the chakra. In game 3, he stole the chakra. In game 4, he pre-banned the chakra. And now in game 5, he's once again going into that same draft of game 3. And the Sekhmet is making a return.
Dude, the Sekhmet. The backup. The backup no one wanted. But honestly, she's 1 for 2 for Famicom. She missed the second one, but she got the one that mattered. So let's see.
Yeah, she definitely didn't. You know, Sekma, I mean, she is an incredible monster, right? It's just only that she's, at the time you miss with Sekme, it just hurts so bad. Because you almost, a lot of times, I mean, you ruin her on Swift. You ruin her to go first to get that first turn reset. So if you miss that, you're such a disadvantage. So it feels like you just instantly lose the game about 27% of the time that skill 3 misses. So,
Oh, and the Dark Demon's coming back, Topa.
oh,
Oh
but
my
it's
God.
on the different side.
Yeah, on a different side. We are seeing sparks flying in this last game.
Oh yeah, Famicom. I did not know he had this monster in his arsenal, but he has that Dark Demon. There are no resets on Sphinx side, and Sphinx seems quite stumbled by this as well, as he's now running the clock down. Goes for another AoE monster. No, takes it back. Goes for, well, a different AoE monster here in the Layla, but probably has to ban the Dark Demon here as there are no resets present.
Yeah, now it's really a force ban. We can't get dicey with this, though. I suppose Sphinx knows it, right? Because he's been in this position, but mirrored tonight.
Yeah, Sphinx is also a Dark Demon user. He knows the brutal power of that Beelzebub right there, and just, doesn't want anything to do with it gets banned out. And we see the Layla, the last pick of Sphinx, getting banned as well. As we go into the final game, Game 5. After this, we will have a champion.
Yeah, we will, guys. Here we go.
Oh no!
She misses! Oh my God!
There
Send her
it
home, bro.
is.
I'm
Oh,
benching that unit.
Megumi does also miss, so Chakra is not stunned, but it doesn't really matter. What matters is does the pig miss here. He doesn't miss anything. Dark
Oh my
Monkey
God.
is coming.
For the first time this legend tournament, he has a 100% performance. The Water Inosuke did great. Sekhmet, however, is going in the trash.
Man, that is so heartbreaking for Famicom. He made it all the way back to a game 5 here, just for Sekhmet to miss here. And that is so much damage coming out with the S. Patter's probably just going to drop the S2 here on that Chakra. That Chakra might just die from that.
Yeah, honestly,
Annabelle
this
proc.
should be...
Annabelle has to proc. Oh my God. Wait,
Oh, yeah.
Annabelle's juice up. She's at 27%. She doesn't get the proc.
Oh, she didn't do it! Dude, Famicom's team is slacking on the numbers this time. But, wow.
Yeah, he had a chance there. The pattern was not quite enough. Even if the Violent proc, skill 1 was not enough to take out the Chakra. But the Annabelle did not get the proc, even at 27%. And I mean, this is
God, yeah.
this is so heartbreaking for Famicom here.
We had Piano in chat say, relying on Sekhmet on a do-or-die game. That's what I'm saying, dude. I think Sekhmet's too dicey for stuff like this. She's not up to the task.
Yeah, she did it once, but I guess she fumbled under the pressure here, as Famicom is not giving up yet. Does have, a lot of slows here. Now with the defense break as well. Does get the double Violent proc now. It's probably too little too late. Annabelle could go crazy with the sleeps. Doesn't do it though.
Yeah, the Fire Megumi's going to have a hard time making anything happen here. He's hacking off element, but he can at least cycle out of the slow for himself. But he is pretty much unnecessary at this point. All you need is a defense break setup and patter to close it out.
Yeah, you don't need much at this point if you're in Sphinx position. But Famicom, yeah, he's not giving up. He does have a slight chance here. There's a chance, albeit very, very small. And now just get the revenge there as well. Annabelle does have heals available. If she can get a proc every turn, pretty much, there is a chance. But patter immunity is coming.
Actually, yeah, now it's true. And, this is going to be a bit of a setback for him. But it's just a matter of time until they cycle out of the immunity. So let's see.
Oh man, the Megumi getting the defense break as well. I think that might be the end of Chandra. No, the Annabelle actually does cut in here. Annabelle will be able to get a heal on that Chandra, keeping him in the match a bit longer. But no violent procs coming out of this Annabelle. It really needs to get those procs.
It does, dude. That Dark Monkey can get really low too. It's gonna fall sooner or later here to the Chandra.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is it.
The proc to kill the Dark Monkey. That's the biggest source of defense break on Sphinx side. Although this Megumi has been, oh my God, it's so consistent with the defense breaks.
Chat, wait a minute. There's
Defense broke again.
He's gonna go down.
Annabelle against the world.
It's Annabelle against the world, dude. There's weirdly enough, there's still game to be had, which is crazy. She could res this. She's 100% res, right? Okay.
Yeah, well, but he's also 100% accuracy on that pig right there. Now, with the defense break is coming out, does not get the proc out of the defense break. Can the Megumi stun her? Oh my
No
goodness.
way. No way. The Megami coming
Oh
in
my
clutch.
God,
And
the
the
proc.
proc into the wild blow. Is this the one that's going to get him the legend title again? It's close.
No. Oh.
Oh, she needs one sleep. She needs one.
So here you actually cannot hit the Megumi, because if you kill, you don't sleep. So you have to hit the pig, which is the right play right there. But you don't get the sleep, you don't get rewarded. And no Christmas miracle here today for Famicom. He does not get the animal solo, and Sphinx will be our season 35 legend.
Let's go, Sphinx. Again, he makes it into the Hall of Fame. Incredible. Famicom did a great job up against everybody in the tournament. He really showed his stuff against Pooh, put on a great show up against Sphinx, but he couldn't quite close it out. And Sphinx did it, man. Sphinx did it. And I'll tell you who didn't do it, Topa. Sekhmet.
Yeah, I do believe if Sekhmet lands the reset there, I think Famicom actually wins the game. Like, especially with how close it got in the end there. Like, the Annabelle almost pulled it out, and with the Chandra there too, doing some great damage on that Chandra. So if that Sekhmet had landed, his whole team would have been alive. He would have gotten so much more AoE damage with the Chakra getting all that AoE damage, the Sekhmet getting the skill 2 for AoE defense breaks. And, yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts.
It does. It definitely does. Good job to everybody involved. I also appreciate that Famicom stuck around until the end. There was an opportunity that he possibly could have made something happen there, and I like that he stuck around to see it through. That was great. We're still in the first round here. You remember that super long game at the beginning? That was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that first game felt like 2, if not 3 games. Of how long it took and all the swings that happened there as well. It looked so good for Sphinx, then it looked so good for Famicom, then it looked so good for Sphinx, then Famicom, and then ultimately Sphinx does pull it out there in the end. As well as saving this game too, the Dark Demon showcase. We got at least one Dark Demon game, and I guess that was enough because it had a very strong performance there. And then in game 3, the Sekhmet did land, and that's a lot of the time. If Sekhmet lands, you win game. Sekhmet doesn't land, you lose game.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Famicom had grounds for trusting her, right? Because she did show up, the last time you picked her. So
right. And then also the previous time you also missed with the Sekhmet, so you're thinking that, okay, I missed the last time, so I'm due for landing this time. But that was unfortunately was not the case, and he does ultimately lose there. But also this game 4 was quite interesting. That Aya was enough with that very smart ban on that Venton.
Yes. And I don't think Sphinx was anticipating the Venhan ban there, and that's why he left the Aya in. Because if he had enough attack bar reduction, theoretically he could have handled the Aya. So with that absent, it made it much more difficult, clearly, for him. And then that brings us to the game 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, game 5. You saw it there. Everyone saw it. Everyone knows it. The Sekhmet resistance. I mean, if you played Sekhmet, you've seen that way too many times yourself as well. And there it is. That's the tournament. Very, very great matches though altogether. Famicom both times going up against these Titans, going all the way to the best of 5, almost getting the reverse sweep there. And if it wasn't for Sekhmet missing, I do like his chances there. So well drafted, well played by Famicom. But ultimately, the season 35 legend summoner is Sphinx.
Congratulations to Sphinx on yet another entry in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him and to everybody involved. Honestly, it is a really big deal just to be here. That was really cool seeing everybody fight for it. They put on a great show for us tonight, and they managed to keep my excitement levels up, even though it's bordering on 3 a.m. Topa.
No, absolutely. Yeah, it is getting quite late here, but the games were absolute heat here tonight. The players really brought it, and as you mentioned, it's a huge feat to just make the top 4. There's not many players that make the top 4, so just getting there, and you do get yourself all 5 hacker skins, which is quite cool here as well.
Oh yeah, and those are some of the coolest skins I've seen in a while. They're really cool. They are sick skins. So hopefully you guys got a new rank this season. Hopefully you get some cool rewards for it as well. I hope you enjoyed the tournament too. I certainly did, Topa.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, those were some really good games. And what I also enjoy is, some more coupons. So we got another one for you guys right here.
Let's go. LT 2026 return. That's right, guys. The Legend tournaments will be back in the next year. So I just want to thank everybody in chat again. I know we keep on saying it, but it's really big to us that you come and hang out and watch these tournaments with us. It's a really fun time for us to cast it together, Topa, and it's a great one for the chat to get to watch. And it's always a fun time casting with you, Topa. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, absolute pleasure being here with you once again, Evan. And, look forward to more Legend tournaments in the coming year. And yeah, from me, happy holidays and happy New Year, because I don't think I will, see many of you before then. So yeah.
Yeah. I hope you guys get something cool from the scrolls. Happy holidays, everybody. Thank you again for watching. And we'll see you next time for the next Legend tournament. And look out for the return of RTA in season 36. All right. All right, everybody. And I hope you get a vend hand from that scroll while you can, by the way. Hope you get something good.
Yeah, that would be quite crazy. And, next season 36 is going to be an exciting one, too, from another perspective, because I believe that it's going to be an SWC qualifying season. So it might be a bit more active and,
That's a really good point. That's a really, really good point. So, yeah, keep your eyes peeled for the next one, considering it's going to be a qualifying season as well. And I think that's everything from us tonight. All right, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and for watching the Legend Tournament for RTA Season 35. Congratulations again to Sphinx and everybody involved. Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.